Caissie.
What?
That one place that wanted to buy Busy Tonight, and we had the meeting where you ate the banana in the middle of the meeting, and I'll never let Caissie live it down. I totally blew up her spot because I just was like, I mean, we are in a business meeting, and she is fully eating a banana. It was kind of amazing. It's my favorite thing that's happened.
So funny.
I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing my best.
Hi, everybody. Hi.
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 This is
Is it
soothing voice.
happening?
What if this was my voice? Yeah, this is it, Meredith. This is what it is.
Oh,
This is the show.
Maybe I want people to think I'm British. I seem smarter. Oh no!
Did you ever see this? Did you ever see a movie, this indie movie? It was like Noah Baumbach, but a million years ago, called Mr. Jealousy. It was like from the 90s. It's actually like kind of an amazing movie, and Annabella Sciorra is the lead of it with Eric Stoltz. Caissie, did you ever see it?
No.
Oh my God, you guys, check out Mr. Jealousy. I loved this movie, but the plot of the movie is just that like Eric Stoltz is Mr. Jealousy. Like he ruins every relationship because he gets so jealous. And so he tries to go to therapy to rectify the situation, but then he's dating a girl and then finds out that she's in a group therapy situation. And so he convinces his friend, I think, to join the group therapy to try to like get information. And they ask him a question and you don't know what's about to happen. And then he just like starts speaking in a British accent in the group therapy. And it's like truly one of my favorite bits. I don't know. I loved it. I loved it in high school.
Have you ever seen that Eric Stoltz footage of him in Back to the Future?
Oh, because didn't he screen test? It's his screen test?
I believe he was cast. And then and I could be wrong on the
No,
details,
I think
but
you're right.
he was cast, and then they got into filming, and they were like, this isn't as like bubbly and like this isn't as
It's
funny
too dark.
It's like he's like an amazing actor, but it's not, Michael J. Fox is like, hi.
Yeah, it wasn't the vibe. Can I tell you
it wasn't
guys
the right vibe.
what I
That's
always
right.
think of when I think of Eric Stoltz is that one time my husband was working really hard to paint a room that I asked him to paint in a color that I asked him to paint. And then when it was done, he called me in and he was like, okay, it's done. And I came in and I was like, and he was like, do you like it? And I was like, and he was like, you don't like it? And I was like, it's not exactly like the color that I thought it was going to be. And he was like, no, it looks like Eric Stoltz's dick. And now for the rest of my life, that's what I think of when anyone.
Would his penis be a like
What? What
color was it?
But what color was it? Like peach?
It's like, is he equating his hair color with his?
It was
with what
like, like a very pink, and also like, how penises are like sometimes purplish. It was like a real accomplishment of color, like pink and purplish, and also like, yeah, like a ruddy.
Sounds pretty.
Yeah, I mean, it just wasn't,
Honestly, it sounds
like
beautiful.
Back to the Future. It just wasn't right for the part.
It was too dramatic.
Oh my God. Oh my God, wait,
Yeah, I
yes.
feel like your husband had that locked and loaded though.
He was ready.
He must have like been ready for it.
He had a long time to think about it.
Yeah, painting the whole room. Like, oh shit.
Wait,
Wait,
Bez,
this
what are
is
you-
fascinating. Now
Or he had
I'm
personal
reading the Vulture article about Eric Stoltz being replaced. Like they truly like didn't
Like
they
it's
slow
Zemeckis,
played
right?
it. Yeah, Zemeckis, but they like didn't tell him, and they kept
They were
having
filming
him
for like
do
a while.
Yeah, and they kept having him do weird
Sucks.
stuff like B-roll footage while they were figuring out who they were going to replace him with.
Like B-room stuff. Like, yeah, we just need footage of you
Like
brushing
walking
your
in
teeth
this
for
mini
5
mall.
hours.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, guys.
Thanks.
Hi, everybody. Hi.
Hi.
It's me, Busy Phillips, and this is Busy Phillips is Doing Her Best, the podcast, the musical, the podcast, the TV show. I'm joined today, per usual, by Caissie St. Ange,
Hello.
my friend, my collaborator, my co-conspirator, my fellow witch. And tonight is a full moon. Yes. Tonight, guys, this is Monday night.
I can feel it.
And this is the pink moon.
Yes.
As Nick Drake so famously sang about. And if you don't know that, you're too young. You should probably listen to that song. And if you only know it from the Volkswagen commercial, shame on you.
Well, it's okay.
It's fine, I guess. And also joining us today as co-host, Meredith Scardino.
Yay!
Creator of not
You can give me
not
credit.
Busy Forever.
I'll take more shows.
What's Busy Forever? Is that
it hasn't happened yet.
We're manifesting it.
Holy shit. Of Girls 5 Eva. Not Busy Forever. Although Busy Forever is like a good name for a show.
Busy Forever is a good name for a show.
About a girl named Busy.
Who's
always
always stop.
She can't stop, won't stop. Here we are. Meredith Scardino, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
This is so fun.
And it's wonderful how you don't have to leave anywhere anymore. You just,
No.
You don't. Mer, are you getting excited about the launch of Girls 5 Eva?
Yes, I'm getting very excited. I'm so excited. They're apparently gonna. Hopefully, this isn't telling tales out of school, but I think they're gonna like wrap like a tour bus.
Oh my God.
in New York City, like a double-decker kind of.
But wait, is it with the press photo? Is it with that photo? Is it the one where I'm holding the microphone that's immediately going to be made into a million dicks?
No, it's
okay. Because I had some issues.
It's they are locking the bus up at night, and also your faces are way off the ground. So.
Okay,
but I want to like run behind that bus like a dog.
I've never had anything so exciting in my life. We had exactly 2 billboards for Busy Tonight only after we complained. And what was genius?
Where were they?
There were 2.
Yes.
And they were strategically placed. One in between my home and my Lec Fit workout.
Oh, so you would see it. Yeah.
So I would see it.
Sure.
And the other one between my house and Soul Cycle. So I would see it there.
Okay.
That's so funny. I heard about like that happening a million years ago when I was on a plane ride and I sat next to this guy that worked on that show, Family Jewels with Gene Simmons.
Yeah.
And he basically said that they would just like place all these billboards on his commute to work. So
he would see it.
Getting advertised everywhere.
So listen,
I didn't know was common practice. But.
BFF, Emily Beebe, has worked in advertising in some form or research or market research since graduating from Wesleyan. So she was the first one that told me that this is like actually a very real strategic move that like television studios make. And also,
just to keep
also
people happy.
Yes.
Just to feel people cared, like
yes.
people care about you.
Yes. It's so
I see nothing
weird.
out my window.
It honestly though, can I just tell you, because there were only 2 billboards for Busy Tonight, and it like enraged me that they had put them on my route to my workouts. Like I was like, oh, I'm so fucking predictable. You know how I'm gonna drive. You don't know I'm gonna take Vine. Like every day I took Vine.
But
but it is a real thing. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of does make sense, but it's also, I don't know, it's a little bit like a weird use of money. So many calculations about who they're trying to target.
Right.
And then
Maybe
it's
just
like,
put
we're just trying to target the stars of the show.
I guess
maybe
it's
just-
also like
yeah.
whenever you see a billboard, you should just turn around and look in the other direction and you'll see the
like,
celebrity that
"There's
is
50
featured
Cent."
on the billboard because that's who it's like aimed at.
That's a great idea.
Well, listen, I'm excited about the bus and I look forward to seeing it outside of my house, I guess is the point.
It'll just drive back and forth outside your apartment.
But guys, can I tell you something?
What?
So today's Monday, the 26th. The full pink moon is tonight, which is, I hope you charged your crystals and did whatever spells, intentions you needed to do. Last night was apparently the Academy Awards. Something I didn't know was happening until Saturday night.
I didn't know it was happening until yesterday. And then I was like, oh, right. And then I watched a little bit.
I didn't watch it because I had no plans to watch it. And then once I found out about it on Saturday, I was like, well, I'm certainly not going to make plans to watch it now because that feels disingenuous to the Oscars.
Come on.
It felt like it was none of my business.
It did feel like it was none of my business. Oh my God, that's exactly right. I was like, this is not for me.
It felt intimate.
It's not for me.
It did feel intimate in a way that I thought was good.
Yeah.
Did you guys watched?
I watched some of it. I have like Hulu Live, and I was fast forwarding. And whenever you fast forward, the little like keyframe they show you is just the next ad, so you never know where you're going. So I kept just randomly jumping around in the ceremony.
I was just confused. Like some of it for me was a little bit like, did movies come out? ?
You weren't
It
sure.
was weird. I only saw one movie this year that was up for anything.
Minari.
No.
What was it?
Promising Young Woman. I thought it was great.
Oh,
you
okay.
loved
Yeah,
that.
I loved Promising Young Woman. I also saw Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. I want
to watch that.
Yeah, it was great.
I was surprised she didn't win.
Yeah, I didn't see a lot of the films.
Who won?
Frances
McDormand.
McDormand. Yeah.
For
She
Nomad.
howled like a wolf.
She did.
I
Well,
think
she did-
it's in the movie.
She didn't take her mask off, did she? Somebody
Maybe
said,
they all had their masks off.
oh, somebody had like an iconic picture of Frances McDormand with her mask on, like glowering in the corner.
Oh, really?
She's famously like anti-award shows.
But she's also has such comfort there that you feel like she's in her own living room, which is like feels like she's so embraced by the Hollywood community that you feel like it's so comfortable.
I feel
But
like
she
she's always
is
wearing
very-
like Clark's shoes.
I really like what she does. She kind of comes in and you're not sure if she brushed her hair and
She immerses herself in the environment, like in the Nomadland movie.
I didn't see it.
I did see part of that movie.
Yeah, but
saw
she
it.
wore like a little feathers last night, right? She had
I
like
think there was a little
feathers. It was like a little bit festive for her last night. The
Oh.
clothes were good. I thought the clothes
I
were
saw the
Oh my God, Regina King's dress.
Yeah, I saw Regina, who I love, and I saw Zendaya.
amazing.
I mean, that was incredible. That picture of Zendaya with her hair as if it was like she had brought her own fan. It's like so incredible. She's wearing the dress and her hair is blowing perfectly. My hair has never blown that perfectly, even when a fan was being aimed strategically. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, she looks gorgeous.
Did you see
amazing.
Did you see Riz Ahmed fixing his wife's hair?
I did not.
Before he was like,
No.
hold 1 second, and then he fixed his wife's hair.
That's sweet.
And
Good for him.
yeah, that was, I mean, everybody pulled everyone's heartstrings.
That's nice.
Yeah, it was, it seemed like it was a party that was for other people, and I was happy for all of them. And I heard it ended weirdly, and
It did, because it was Anthony Hopkins and he wasn't there.
Yeah.
Everyone thought it would go to Chadwick Boseman.
yeah.
Felt like it was building to that too.
Yeah.
That was weird.
What
don't
was
know.
your favorite movie of the past year?
I mean, I really liked Promising Young Woman because that's the one that I saw because I've been working on the show all year.
Yeah.
But I also saw Soul, which was great.
Oh, yeah, Soul.
I got to do a little punch up on it, very little,
Oh, nice.
but,
Okay.
which was awesome. But I was happy that John Baptiste won. That was
Yes.
really cool.
Yeah, that was
He's
exciting.
lovely. He's so wonderful.
How about you, Biz? What was your favorite movie of the last year?
I mean, I saw Soul,
Yeah.
and that might be it. That might be the only movie I've seen. I'm not kidding. I just watched a lot of documentaries.
Yeah. Well,
Started
that's okay.
Ones.
Yeah. I mean, like, obviously Tiger King, right? When the first lockdown happened.
Yeah.
And then I watched this really good one about a magician called The Amazing Jonathan.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That was really good.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the Nexium documentaries. Oh my God. The Nexium documentaries, both. I watched
Right.
both of them. And then, well, what else was there? Tiger Woods. I watched that one.
Right.
Guys, I guess
Which
I'm just
you
like
thought was about the Night Stalker for like a good portion of it.
to be fair, it was ominous the way that they were talking.
Busy thought that the Tiger Woods documentary was the Night Stalker documentary for quite
didn't-
some
Wait,
time.
What do you mean? Like,
Because
for
I
how
came
long
home-
could that be possible? Because it's just going to be like early footage of.
No, I came home from shooting, and so I was tired. And Mark was watching had already started the Tiger Woods documentary, and I walked in, and it was like they were talking about Tiger Woods' dad would apparently like give a lot of ladies golf lessons and then take them into his like RV that he had parked there. And then they would have drinks and then they would have sex, I guess. And he was like a real ladies' man.
Oh my God.
Golf pro in an RV, like on the premises.
Doesn't sound like it would work.
Well, it did. It did. But in the way that it was being told and the music that they were playing, it was like so ominous. And it was like, and he would have upwards of 3-5 different ladies a week. And we all thought, surely this is something else is happening here, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, God, this is so fucking dark. I don't know if I can watch this. And then it was like, and Tiger was there the whole time. He was just a kid practicing golf. And I was like, what does Tiger Woods have to do with the Night Stalker? And Mark's like, what? And I'm like, what? And then he's like, this is the Tiger Woods documentary. I was like, oh, yeah, that makes way more sense than what I had thought.
That's hilarious.
Guys, speaking of me messing things up all the time, I basically can't even talk today. I don't know what's happening. It's the moon. Last week, so I've never been at Mare. I don't know about you. Your kid's little. So you haven't even had to really do this. How old is your son?
He's going to be 4 in July.
So you don't even fucking know because pandemic and lockdown and everything. So you don't know truly like real elementary school mom dynamics and vibes.
I don't, but I do drop him off at preschool every day. And there's 2 schools on the street. And tell me if this has ever happened to you, but the ones everyone gathers on the sidewalk to drop their kid off. But the one school that I passed to get to Oscar's school, they won't move. Like I always am like pushing him with my stroller. And like today there was just like all these people dropping their kids off and just like ran me and Oscar like off the street, basically like wedged the stroller between like me and a parked car. And I was like asking the guy, like, can you please scoot over a little bit? But I just feel like they take over the whole sidewalk. But I haven't had a lot of like other parents dynamic, but I'm excited.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's gonna get worse, Meredith.
Yeah, it does get worse. I don't know. And I feel like I have gotten in trouble from even talking about it on this podcast a little bit. Like it is really tricky to be a mom, any parent, and be participatory in their school life. And like, do you make friends with other parents? But then like, there's always like some article that's like X school, the parents had like a secret ecstasy circle and like, you know what I mean? Oh my God, Mare, you're just not there yet. You're
like
just
LA.
not.
This sounds more LA stuff though than New York.
Honey, it's everywhere. It's
Even
everywhere.
in the suburbs.
See, Caissie knows. Caissie lived here for all of her children's years, basically, until she moved out for Busy Tonight. But yeah, like it's just weird. And so my kids are in this new school. We're committed to like at least one more year of school here in New York. And I have made one mom friend in Cricket's grade. And really we were internet friends before. And then it was just like a lovely coincidence that our kids were in the same grade. And then also she's my backyard neighbor.
Oh, that's cool.
But now they think they might be moving away from New York.
You're going to need to make a new friend.
So she's like, I'm going to have like some mom drinks. People are like getting like fully vaccinated now. People are coming off of their 2 weeks from the second shot business. She's like, I'm going to have some moms over from our class for some drinks. You should come. So I'm like, that is so nice. Yes, I'm in. And one of the moms I had kind of met a little bit before because her daughter came over for a play date with Cricket. And then when she picked her up, she came and hung out for like a half an hour. And I really liked her. And then she was like, and bring Cricket if you want, like, because they'll be there and like whatever. And I was like, okay, great. So, but then it was like, I don't know, it was kind of late and I left Cricket at home. So I went around the block and went in and Lisa's like, oh, you're here early. And I was like, I thought I was at 6. And she's like, it's 6:30. I was like, oh, okay. She's like, do you want a drink? I'm like, you know what? I'm actually trying to not drink during the week right now because I have to do all this press coming up and like it just doesn't make me feel good. So I'm not drinking during the week, but it was 420. So I was like, but I am from LA and I do have like my weed pen that I love. So I might just like smoke a little weed. And she's like, okay, yeah, that's cool, whatever. So there's no kids around, by the way. So we're in the backyard and I like get a little high. And so then one of the moms shows up and I swear I thought Lisa said, she brought whatever, the kid's name. Let's say Eloise. I don't want to use real kids' names because I don't have permission from those. Okay. She's the kid who had come to my house for the play date and the mom that I know. She's like, oh, I swear I thought she said, oh, she brought Eloise. And I looked up and through the glass window of the house, I saw the mom that I knew and a little girl wearing a mask. And I was like, shoot, I should have brought Cricket. Well, I'll call Mark. Maybe he wants to like walk her over or whatever. And so I was like on the phone with Mark. And I had just met another mom. And I swear oh God, you guys, I got stoned is the point. Yeah. Is the point. And I misunderstood
was it not a
multiple
little girl?
things. Well, first of all, it's Lisa's other kid. No, it was Lisa's other kid, not Eloise. It was like Lisa has a younger daughter. And I just was like, that's her. So then Cricket came over with Mark and I was like, look, Eloise is here. And they all were looking at me like, what is wrong with you?
Okay.
And Cricket had gone to a birthday party a few weeks ago and they had forgotten to bring the present for the little girl. And I was like, the mom is here, bring the present. Not the right mom. Totally different child. So I just like very confidently gave her the present for some other kid. And I was like, so sorry, we didn't bring this to the party. Here's the present. And then I was like talking about crystals and shit. And I left my purse there.
Oh, wow.
You guys, I was really out of it.
You're probably uniting all the other parents.
Now, you gave them something to talk about as the song goes.
That's great.
Yeah. What a blessing you gave to all those other moms.
I just was like, I texted Lisa. I was like, you can't move. You can't leave me. They all just think that I'm like this dopey LA crystal pot smoking bitch.
Oh my God.
I'm not looking for. I am a little bit like allergic to like a mom get together. I don't know why.
Well, we all
I
are,
haven't
but
been
we
invited
have
to any. But I'm not. It's like I don't like baby showers. I don't like a lot of those kind of things.
I have so many stories because I always tried to be like the nice, like America's sweetheart mom, like the peacemaker, because of my own childhood. But so I always tried to, be the joiner. And oh my gosh, I remember one time this one mom that I was friends with, she was a photographer, and this other mom who was kind of like extra asked her to take boudoir photos of her. And she like reluctantly agreed.
What?
Yeah, because she was like, okay, like again, like you get in these weird situations, and she was like, okay, it's not really what I do, but I guess like to keep the peace or whatever in the school community. And like I think that mom had like gotten new boobs, and that's why she wanted the photos. So the photographer mom was like, okay, so she took the photos, and then the extra mom who wanted the boudoir photos got like a little tanked at the school art night and came over while I was talking to the photographer mom and was like, I know you've been showing my boudoir photos around to everyone in town. Give me the negatives. And she was like, they are digital and they've been deleted. And she was like, I want those negatives, you bitch. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And I tried so hard to smooth it over. And I was just like, oh my God, I'm in over my head. The only time I ever tried to.
Did you ever see the photos?
No, I never did. She really never did show those around town. She truly never did show them around town. The only time I ever tried to stand up for myself is there was like some type of like potluck, like some kind of second grade potluck. And this, and I'm going to use her real name. This mom in town, Leah, who was always Leah-ing it up.
Fuck Leah.
Yeah, fuck Leah. She came over and she was like, she had been living in the town her whole life, Leah. And she came over and it was like dessert time. And she had already served herself dessert. And I was getting dessert. And she leaned over to me conspiratorially and she was like, the brownies are really good, but I wouldn't bother with the lemon squares. And I was like, I made the lemon squares, Leah. And that was the only time I ever stuck up for myself in Westport, Connecticut.
I mean, it's just like, it's a lot. It's a lot. And here's what I'll say, Mare, and it might be different if you have boys, but I don't think it is.
No.
I do feel like when your kids get older, you want to know the parents because you want to know when the shit starts to happen and there's drama and whatever, you want to either
like puberty or
well, the drama
stuff.
starts way before puberty.
Yeah.
So just like I'm just telling you that right now. Okay. Like drama can start anywhere from 1st to 3rd grade with kids.
You're going to try to make Meredith try to get out of this situation that she can't get out of.
She can't. She's got a kid. She's too late. You made your choice. You made your bed. Now you have to lie in it. I'm going to tell you the best way. And it's really hard when you're a working parent to be involved, to volunteer for stuff. And there are so many people. I mean, in LA, in one instance, at one place, like I was made to feel really bad. I felt as though I was made to feel really bad about the fact that I worked a lot when Birdie was little. Now, my therapist would say that's probably half true. And maybe also I'm putting my own thing on it because I felt bad about how much I was working and not able to be there for Birdie. But, it's just good to know the parents because you want to be able to call them if their kid's being an asshole or if your kid was an asshole to them so that you can be like, hey, listen, we've had this conversation. They know it's not acceptable, blah, 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 right? Mm-hmm. But anyway, now these parents just think I'm like a weird stoner and it's fine. And I am kind of.
It's not the only part that doesn't sound true is the bitch part you said.
Oh, well, but I say like bitch, like as in like I'm that bitch, Like I'm the bitch that talks about crystals and smokes weed at the mom drinks. Like everyone else is like enjoying their rosé and I'm like, never mind me, I've got my weed pen,
I think whatever happens, Meredith, I think any wildness that happens to you parentally, we're just going to get great comedy out of it.
Oh, that's great. That's a good way to look at it.
Meredith did write something on Girls 5 Eva, guys. I'm just going to plug it again. That is hands down one of my favorite. Caissie, you're going to love it so intensely. And I actually don't know. I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah,
I don't want to spoil it.
Give me like speak in code. Are you talking about the thing about the kid?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
No, it's like one of the best things. I think it's like one of the most original and best things that I've ever
thank you.
heard or seen on any show. You have to know I think it's great because I have nothing to do with it.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
Yes, you don't.
Well,
it's not part of the storyline.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is one of the things I'm most proud of about the show. I mean, very cryptic, but it is like a little ode to my son.
Episode 3? Is it episode 3? Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So anyway, so that was my one story I wanted to tell you about how I did a terrible job at mom drinks, like really, truly terrible job.
Mm-hmm. You know what though?
What?
Every mom has like a mom drinks story. I've told you like at the preschool, like when I would hold like a preschool fundraiser, because again, like trying to like be the nice mom and run the preschool. I can't tell you how many moms I've seen throwing up into tiny toilets. Because they just
like toilets that don't have any drainage.
You know how they have like the little preschooler sized toilets?
Ones?
Yeah. Just moms, like one mom disappears. She's been, tying one on at the preschool, and then you just see her like all squunched down in the bathroom, throwing up into a tiny toilet. You didn't do that, did you? See? You didn't have to throw up into a tiny toilet.
No, I did forget my purse. Called everyone the wrong name.
Well, you were
mistook a child for another child, a child that I know fairly well for another child that I have met several times. They're not even close to looking alike or being even the same age. And I just went for it. But it's okay. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's really fine, guys.
Yeah. I mean, well, did you do your best at anything this week?
Me?
Yeah.
I mean, no.
Some of your style for press was pretty great.
Well, I mean, that's a team effort, Mare.
Yes.
I gotta hand it to the glam squad, as they call it.
Mm-hmm.
Go right on into my glam room, aka the kitchen. Do you know that, like, have you ever seen, like, on the Kardashians or whatever, that, like, famous rich people have, like, these glam rooms that are, like, they essentially have, like, hair makeup rooms, like, built into their homes, kind of. It makes sense.
Like a salon.
Mine is my kitchen. And we use the dining room table, and then now we're hanging my pressed looks in the wine rack fridge. It's turned off.
It's adorable.
Well, it works. We've done some fun press. I'm excited to do the rest of it. And we talked to Sarah Bareilles, and then I'm trying to schedule and Ashley, I was almost just said Ashley Nicole Black, which is not correct. We did talk to her.
Yes.
But Ashley Park, who's on Girls 555. But yeah, I'm trying to schedule Paula and Renee, but everybody's schedules are crazy. We'll figure it out. We will figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Tina and Jeff are going to do it together, which is cute.
They are?
Exciting.
That's adorable. That's
I think
good.
it's good.
I think that's great.
This podcast, guys, it keeps going.
Because you know everyone.
I guess. I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, I have to be honest. Like this week,
You
I've
should
really
have one of those moms on.
Yeah.
I could have Lisa on. Lisa would do it. I just feel like, I don't know. I gotta be honest. Guys, listening to this, sometimes I'm like, is this thing on? What's happening? Like, what is this doing? Is this, what is it?
I don't know, Busy. I feel like you're always kind of doing your own podcast, generally. It feels like
my whole life?
Yeah, it feels like, you're a talker. You like to explore topics. Feels like a very natural extension to me.
See, it's funny because I thought that it was a talk show, but then I guess that wasn't right, according to E. So I guess a podcast is like what it's gotta be in this moment. But I also just feel like it's like aimless a little bit. Like I could always use direction. I can use a producer, I guess, in my real life is what I'm trying to say. Because I need to be produced. I need to be more produced.
I do feel like that sometimes with Andrew, a partner, myself, is like, I feel like we need an adult in the apartment. We don't have one. Like,
everyone needs a wife, right? Like
we don't have someone that estate planning and insurance and
you definitely have to do that. Yeah, you got to do that.
But I mean, it's like all of that stuff is very hard for us, and we're both very like sort of laid back and not. We're not like turbo and on top of a lot of things. So we often feel like we need an adult, and I feel like my son, in some ways, is taking on that role.
That's
that makes sense.
He is like a little Alex P. Keaton in some ways.
Yeah.
Like he'll be like, "Mommy, are you gonna wear those shoes on the rug? You need it." And like his commitment to using a napkin is hilarious. He uses it between each bite. Like he's very fastidious. He feels like a grown up. He does feel like a grown up.
I love that. That's great.
That makes sense.
I have 2 children that are constantly covered in like something. Like they are.
I have to tell Oscar to get dirty. Like I have to be like, you can.
Oh, wow.
Really miss.
Does he have like a little bit of OCD, do you think?
I don't know. I mean, he's so young. I'm sure he could. I'm sure he could.
That's
he
right.
Does care about his shoes a lot.
Do you have OCD?
I mean, I'm like, I think I like think a lot, like compulsively think.
Right. Well, there's lots of different ways that it manifests.
If I have any of them, I think it's more like the one where you just ruminate.
Doesn't everyone have that?
Some people I feel like are better at shutting their brains off than other people. I think that's why I like writing jokes and stuff because you just like solve the problem. You just like solve joke problems over and over and over again. And it's really fun.
Is that what you look at it like? You just look at it like it's a problem to be solved? Jokes?
I just feel like there's potentially an answer. I mean, I think there's many answers, but I do think like it's really fun. Like my favorite thing is to be in a writer's room and just like writing jokes. It's just the most fun thing for me.
Neither one of you have pre-teen teens anymore. Not yet. Have you guys listened to Olivia Rodrigo? To Driver's License?
A little bit. Yeah.
Okay. Did you listen to Deja Vu?
No.
Okay. Do you know this story, Meredith?
I
Behind
don't know the story, but I know people are obsessed with that song.
Right. Driver's License was the first one, and now Deja Vu is the new one. But she's on High School Musical, the TV show.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And with this boy whose name escapes me, but Bertie showed me his answer video to Driver's License. So they were going out, and then he, I guess, maybe dumped her to go out with this other Disney actress who's not on High School Musical, the TV show, which I did think at first when Bertie was telling me. And then I was like, this is very messy. But apparently the girl is just like on some other Disney show or was on a Disney show. So that's what Driver's License came out. And it was sort of like a fuck you to the guy and the new girlfriend.
Sure.
And then he had a response song. And then the new girlfriend had a response song. And now Deja Vu has come out. And I bring this up just because we're not going to play it. We can't afford it. But I bring it up because, honestly, I think the songs are great. But there's a thing in Deja Vu that I feel like the lyric could be beaten. Now, guys, Hollywood Break, like in acting and writing, we often would say, can you beat the joke? Like you'll say like, wait, can you beat the joke? Like if the joke is like almost there, but not quite right, you're like, how do we beat this? Like we can better it basically as like, what's the better version of this thing? Okay. And there's a lyric in Deja Vu that every time, and I've heard this 4 billion times because it's been on repeat in my house because my kid is obsessed with it, that I'm like, I just feel like we can beat it. Like I feel like it's, feel like it's almost there. So it's, can I sing it? When do we have to pay for it,
it's
Caissie?
Fine. What?
Okay.
Well,
so when you gonna tell her that we did that too? She thinks it's special, but it's all reused. That was that show we talked about. Na 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 na. Okay. It's that everything is all reused. Is the weirdest. Everything is all reused. Why? That's not an expression, is it?
No.
Do you know what I'm saying? You have to really listen to the song, I guess, a million times as I have to understand why it has wormed into my brain and is scratching it in such a very specific way, which is just like
what bothers you about it?
I know you get deja vu is like that's like the hook. Like that's great. But the other one she does is everything is all reused. You have to listen to it.
Is it because you don't like that used rhymes with vu?
I just
doesn't rhyme, really.
It just doesn't rhyme right. Miracle. And it's like also just not the right expression. It has to be like more personal. Not like everything is all reused. It's personal to her. Right. Like you're doing all the same shit. Deja vu makes sense because it's like it's all the same shit you did with me. But everything is all reused makes it seem like there's no original ideas in the world. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm sorry it's taking me so long to get here.
Does she mean experiences are all reused?
Well, she's saying specific to her. Like he like took her for strawberry ice cream in Malibu and he plays her Billy Joel. And like why Billy Joel is getting the shout out is really quite honestly beyond me. But bless the generation that thinks that Uptown Girl is like.
I once heard like I was looking at an apartment once and someone was saying that Billy Joel lived next door and like he would play piano at night and then his neighbors would be like, shut up.
No. I mean, people have yelled shut up to me.
Sure.
Honestly.
Let's be real. All right. Well, maybe I'm wrong about it's all reused.
No,
but for some reason I feel like it
I need to hear this song.
Okay, Caisie's like, we can't keep talking about this. This is
No.
I
get it. When I totally get it. And I'm sure you've had this too, Meredith. When you're watching another show, you're like, why did you do that joke? This joke is so much better. This would have been so much better. Like right now that, what's that fucking Seaspiracy, that documentary that's on right now, Seaspiracy.
That's a bad title.
And my husband's like, conspiracy.
See? Yes.
It's right there.
It's right there.
Wait, what's conspiracy? What is
It's the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life.
There's a documentary called Seaspiracy.
It's almost like they could have named it Conspira Ocean.
Yeah.
It's like that far off too.
Sea conspiracy? Seaspiracy?
Seaspiracy. And
Not conspiracy.
yeah.
That is the
every
dumbest
time
thing
it
I've ever
comes
heard.
up on Netflix,
So funny.
it maddens everyone in the house. But it's like almost like a troll at this point. Like I'm like, they just did this to make everyone upset.
But what is it about? I guess is my question.
The sea and a conspiracy having to do with that. I don't know.
But what is the conspiracy?
We won't watch it because we're so mad. We don't know.
I'm looking it up.
We don't know.
A bad title. You know what else I think is a bad title? But I think it's a foreign show that is translated or something. Money Heist.
Like, what other kind of heist is there? Yeah, you're right.
Money Heist.
Money heist.
I mean, I guess
can't
you
take
could
it seriously.
technically heist other things, but I feel like it's like you assume it's a money heist unless you specify that it's another type of heist.
Yes, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
That's the main type of heist.
Yeah, it's a money
And then
heist.
you get more specific.
Yes, unless otherwise stated.
Oh, it's about overfishing. Seaspiracy.
Okay.
Honestly, Seaspiracy kind of rolls off the tongue.
I'm with you.
I'm teasing. It's a terrible name. It's a really
terrible.
bad name. It definitely should not be
Come on.
the name of that show.
So annoying.
I don't
Anyway,
know. Caissie, what are you
Meredith.
doing your best at?
Oh, I was going to ask Meredith.
Well, I'm
Do you-
asking you.
Oh, okay. I'll tell you what I'm doing my best at. Actually, it's not what I'm doing my best at, but it made me feel my best, which is, and we're going to talk later. Our guest is Caissie Rose Wilson is coming on to talk about her new book. And we're going to talk a little bit about it with her because she mentions Louis Anderson in her book. And I've talked about my renewed love for Louis Anderson. My son and I have been enjoying Louis Anderson in baskets over the pandemic. And two friends of mine who are comedians who know Louis Anderson have heard me mention that I love him on the podcast. So one friend, Jason Schomer, who's the sweetest, just put me on an email with Louis Anderson. Just being like, hey, Louis, this is my friend Caissie. She and her son have been watching Baskets and really enjoying it over the pandemic. And I just wanted to introduce you guys. And so I just wrote an email just saying like, oh, my son and I have just been having like, it's been a real special thing for us. Here's what I said. This is so like, it's so corny, but I was saying like, we laugh at the same things, but also we both find the same things touching. And I consider that like such a gift because not every mom gets to like sit there and see her son be touched by like comedy, like well done comedy. And it's, it's a gift that's well done. And I really appreciate it. So like, that's one little nice thing that came out of this terrible time. And so then Louis Anderson made a adorable video and sent it back to me and my son. And it was so nice. Just like a really, like such a sweet video. I won't like say everything that was in it because it was just like personal and very, very sweet. And also like it would have cost $199 if I got it on Cameo. So, so it made me feel very.
Is that his going rate?
Yeah, that's what it costs on Cameo. And I just
Keep it under 200.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
I really, really appreciate it. It made me feel really happy. And it reminded me because sometimes I never want to bother people with like, and we talked to Caissie about this too. Like, I don't want to bother people with telling them like, oh my God, I love you so much, because it might be a lot. I think it's a lot sometimes. Like I've worked for really famous people and I know that it gets to be a lot, but also sometimes like it's good to tell people how much you appreciate them. And as our friends at Busy Tonight would always say, give them their flowers while they're here, you know?
Give them their flowers while they're here.
I do think like my mom always like tells a compliment whenever she sees you or anything, like whatever she's thinking that's positive, she'll just tell you.
I love that.
So I do try to like make sure that I try to do that. I try to do that.
I love that.
Which is, I don't always do it.
I feel like
I'm not withholding a ton of compliments all the time, but I do try to compliment people because my mom and sister especially are very positive.
Your sister is so cute.
I have two sisters. They're both amazing. One is like the most extrovert. Actually, she reminds me in some ways of you. It's like a non-California version of you. You're like a California version of Kim Scardino a little bit.
I can't do a Philly accent.
I was thinking COVID is the most Philly word because it's like COVID. Like it sounds like a word, something like people from Philly would say. COVID.
Have you watched Mayor of Easttown yet, or East?
No, but I did hear that Kate Winslet attempted a Philly accent, and few people do.
I heard it's incredible. I heard it's like amazing.
It's good.
That her accent specifically is amazing.
I'm excited to listen to it.
I think Philly and Baltimore.
You know who does the best Philly accent? John Worster from Superchunk.
From Mountain Goats. Is he from both?
Yeah, is he in
hilarious?
Mountain Goats.
Yes, he does Philly Boy Roy.
Wait, yeah.
He's not from Superchunk. He's from
Mountain Goats.
John Worster.
Yeah. He's like also Bob Mould's drummer.
I don't think he was in Superchunk though. Was he? Guys, we're looking it up.
I think some great Philly words to get people, like if people want to start a Philly accent.
Yes, he's
working on one. I think
Superchunk.
He is in Superchunk. Thanks.
I think daughter is a good word.
Okay, so how do we do it?
Daughter.
And
water.
Water. Right, water. My dad says water.
Down the shore.
Down a shore.
No, it's just so specific.
Yeah.
Baltimore. I can't do Baltimore.
Oh, a Baltimore, like a Eastern Shore accent.
Well, Baltimore is real specific. Mark's family's from there, and they have like just ooze.
Yeah,
like, it's like you can't. I don't know what it is, man. Ugh.
I was singing a song in a Philly accent yesterday that I can't remember what it was now. I was like, these are all songs ruined by a Philly accent.
Is that what you were doing your best at this week, Mayor? What are you doing your best at this week?
Oh, I think this weekend, at least, I feel like I was doing my best at kind of being a tourist in New York.
Oh, that's fun.
Like I'm coming out of like the show, and also like people are coming outside, it being spring, and I don't know, like I'm just
people are being vaccinated.
Yeah, exactly. And just like kind of coming out of the cave, and like I went to the botanical gardens.
Oh, nice.
First, I called and I was like, "Do you allow dogs?" And the guy's like, I'm like, I have a dog and she's great. She's on a leash. Is it fine? He's like, yeah, it's fine. And I get there and they're like, no way. And then I called the guy back and I go, they said I can't bring a dog in. And he goes, oh shit.
That's insane.
And then I had to walk and look at the botanical gardens through the fence. The guard showed me how to like just look into the gardens without actually going in.
Wait, that
my
sucks.
God.
But it was fine. There were other people. But that was one thing I did on Saturday for my friend's birthday. It was all cherry blossoms and it was beautiful. And then on Sunday, we got our COVID vaccines.
Woohoo!
I'm a little tortoise-like today. I'm a little slow today, but and then we were in Midtown, so we were like, okay, we went to Bryant Park. We did like a merry-go-round. My son went on it by himself in a little mask and like was sitting on the sleigh part, just spinning, and he was waving. It was adorable. And then we went to like Grand Central Station and did that little like whisper where you whisper in one section and you hear it in another. And then and of all that stuff, we did all this stuff with him, and it was great. And then at the end of the day, because we were in Walgreens for a couple hours getting our vaccines, and there was like an insurance snafu that whatever took a while to iron out. And after that whole like touristy day with my husband and son. I was like, what was your favorite part, Oscar? And he's like, Walgreens. I want to go back to Walgreens. We need to go there like every day.
Oh,
he loved Walgreens because he got an El Camino. Car.
Like a Matchbox.
Yeah. No, it's actually like a little bit bigger. It was like 6 inches.
Oh, nice. Of course. No wonder he loved it. That is hilarious.
My kids love CVS. CVS is like their like favorite place on earth.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
There's candy, there's snacks. There's like everything a child would want at a drugstore. Like that's like it's everything. Oh, that's fun. Oh, you know what I did on Saturday? Yeah. We went to Staten Island to the park there. We went to Snug Harbor. Oh. There's like a bunch of different gardens and parks and stuff because we felt like the parks in the city and in Brooklyn were going to be too crowded. So we went to Staten Island and then we ordered that really good pizza from
There's also this restaurant I really want to try in Staten Island that has a series of grandmas that take turns cooking each night.
Oh, wow.
Stop it. That's not real.
Yeah, that's real. I mean, I think hopefully it's still open. I don't know if it's still open, but it was.
And is it like Italian food that they cook you?
It depends on the grandma. All the grandmas.
They can't guarantee an Italian grandma.
Can't guarantee an Italian. I mean, I think it started as an Italian restaurant, I believe.
Wait, I love that.
That sounds amazing.
That
sounds fun.
Amazing.
I haven't eaten there. I'm just like advertising a restaurant. I've never eaten at, but I want to.
I mean, it's a great hook. I love the idea of it.
I like it too. Enoteca Maria.
All right.
Enoteca Maria.
Yeah.
That I just remembered my dreams. I always have really crazy dreams right before a full moon.
Okay.
I just remembered my dream last night that I found out from my mom that her father was like still alive. He's not. This is in my dream. Oh no, wait, her grandfather. So like my great grandfather. I don't know why I'm telling you guys this. Sorry. My brain is not functioning today.
Did you get an extra COVID vaccine?
I didn't. And no. And I also did not get high today. But seemingly either thing could be true in this moment. I'm exhausted.
You guys must be really tired. You've been working really hard.
I did do a photo shoot today.
Okay. For what?
For a top secret project.
Okay.
Kind of. I'm doing a collaboration with some people for charity.
Okay.
And I can't like fully reveal the thing.
Okay.
But that's what it was for. But I'm excited about it because I think it'll be cool and cute. And I'll talk about it when it launches so that people can buy the things and give the money.
The things that then benefit charity.
Charity.
But you won't tell us who needs something.
Well,
tell us the charity.
To be totally honest, no, I'm being cryptic, but I just have to be because that's the way that it goes, I guess.
That's the way it goes when you're.
Does it feel weird to be like trying to look super hot for a charity photo shoot?
No. I always want to look super hot. What are you talking about?
Sex
You out of your mind? Mayor, get with it. No, I mean, it all is like so strange. Like everything that everyone does is strange. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Yeah. Like, so is it any weirder than like dressing up for going to a fundraiser or, I don't know. Like it all seems so antithetical to the point of the thing in a way. But like you got to keep trying different
True.
ways of helping out, and there are like so many different directions you can come from. You can donate money, you can donate time, you can like actually get into it and figure out like what changes need to be made on a structural level to help people. I think that that's like for me, I feel like moving forward, I'm more in the people on the ground doing the work to change things on a structural level. Like I want to talk to those people and help them in any way. I don't fucking know, dude. I'm just like one boring ass white lady. Trying my best. doing some acting jobs when I get them. Oh, I turned in my script for the pilot that I have been working on.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, and I forgot. I haven't even checked my email. I don't know if I heard anything. Oh, God, that's nerve-wracking. It's from a book. It's from a book. I got the rights to a book, and I wrote the pilot with the author of the book. We wrote the pilot together.
Are you a big reader?
No, not anymore.
Because I have a problem reading books. I can't. I just started a book. I asked for like the most page-turning book I could find.
What was it?
That reads. It's called like Long Bright River. It's based in Philly. It's murder.
Oh, okay.
But I'm like 60 pages in, and I already feel proud.
I mean, everyone's attention is just gone to shit especially over the pandemic.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I think before I had, historically speaking, been a huge reader, loved reading, loved consuming all forms of media. And then at a certain point, I do think with kids, it's really hard to read because then you're like, when do I have time? And then at night, you just fall asleep when you try to read. So it's just really difficult. And during the pandemic, I could not focus on anything, which brings us kind of to our guest today. The only books I've really read of late directly tie into whoever I'm interviewing because I just feel like...
But honestly, that's great because I feel like that's a good way to have a deadline and incentive to do it because otherwise I feel like I just get in a news hole and I just read the news.
100%. And Caissie Wilson is a wonderful friend of mine and has been for many years. And I honestly had put off reading, her book came like on a Monday, I think. And then we were doing the interview on Thursday. Is that right, Case?
Yeah, probably.
Thursday or Friday. Anyway, I got to that Thursday and we've been doing all this other stuff in the press and I've had a lot of other personal shit going on. And so I'm just like, oh, fuck, I didn't read this book. And I had this moment, I was like, okay, I could wing it and pretend like I read the book to my friend, or I could text her right now and be like, hey, is your schedule insane? Can we push it 3 hours so they can read your fucking book?
You read a book in 3 hours? That's good.
Memoirs are so easily digestible, I feel like, and the way that she writes is so friendly and you're having a conversation with someone. So I think you could easily read my book in 2 hours. I'm not kidding. Even though it's long. I think you could read I think people read my book really fast because it's just it reads really quickly. So, and I was right. Her book read really quickly. In fact, I read some of it in the bath, which that's the first chapter. She talks about being a bath person and a bed person.
A bed and bath person.
A bed and bath person. But I loved the book.
Multiple baths a day?
Well, that's the...
the actress from Mad Men, she takes 3 baths a day, doesn't she?
Who?
Isn't she January
Jones?
Oh,
she does?
Or something?
Maybe. That seems
I
right.
read an article.
That seems right. Let's just say
I'm a
it's
bath
right.
person. I love baths. I love bathing.
Yes, she bathes a lot.
Nice.
I think bathing is lovely. I don't understand when people hate baths.
I think
really
it's easy to
upset about
hate baths in New York City apartments because you usually have kind of a very tiny little non-inspiring bathtub.
No. I understand if you don't have the bathtub in which a bath is really nice. But there are people who emphatically hate baths. And I don't get that.
I don't get that either. Doesn't Oprah have a bathtub that's shaped to her body?
Stop it.
Oh my God.
I swear. Wait, let me look. I feel like I'm just saying things that I'm making them up. But
what if her body shape changes? I guess she could just get a new one.
She has this is my bathtub. She has different bathtubs for different.
Yeah, just for how it's going at that time.
Yeah.
Like how you have different pairs of jeans.
Yeah.
Custom made bathtub carved to her body.
That just means the bottom, right?
Her most prized possession.
Well, can I get one? How do I get one? What is that? Where do I get that?
I think you need to find a sculptor, a bathtub sculptor.
What?
You need a marble man.
My aunt told me that in the 70s maybe, to get their Levi's to shrink to their bodies so that they were so tight, you would put them on when you got them new and then sit in a hot bath wearing them.
Yeah.
And then they would shrink to your body. And in fact, one of my earliest memories, this is true, is we were in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, where my aunt lived. And this is my dad's youngest sister. And my dad and my mother, my aunt was lying flat on the bed, and my dad had pliers, and my mom was holding the jeans together, and my dad was using the pliers and zipping up
To pull the
jeans.
zip. Yeah.
It's the funniest, like weirdest memory
That's
as
so
a
funny.
3-year-old.
When I was in high school, we would just put them on wet in the morning. Just like
What?
Yeah, just like wet them under the shower and just put them on wet and let them dry on. So they would, because they're like bigger when they're wet and then they dry tighter.
Here's the thing. Now they have fabric that like stretches.
Yes, that was
That didn't
invented when I
exist.
was in
It
like
didn't-
the 9th grade.
It didn't exist.
I know a guy who, this is a really old story, but he was at a party and he went to the bathroom and he did that thing where you're like washing your hands, but you lean up against the the thing and your pants get wet. So it looked like he like peed himself a little bit. So he like panics at the party and he didn't know what to do. So he just wet his entire jeans. So they'd all match in color. And then he exited, and so he was in there for a really long time. And then when he exited, he was trying to play it all cool, but he was all sloshy.
That is so something
funny.
I would do. I
And
feel
then,
like
what was his story? Like, I tripped and fell into.
I think he didn't tell anyone.
he was just wet all night.
Just wet. Just leaving big stains.
Then it
behind
just
him.
looked like he really peed his pants. Like he peed his whole
What an
pants.
even impressive urination.
It looked like he peed
Yes, sir.
everyone's pants.
Oh my God. That makes me so sad. Like, that. Why is that? It's so embarrassing. Like, why is it so? He should just be able to come out and be like, oh my God, you guys, I did that thing where you lean against the sink and my pants got wet. He didn't know enough people at the party.
Yeah.
He panicked.
It was a different
Awkward.
time. People weren't so open about leaning back then.
Well, should we listen to this interview with Caissie Wilson? I feel like this is a very uneventful podcast, and I'm sorry if this is boring and you guys hate me.
Wow, I feel
I'm glad
like
you're reading the room.
I feel like you're in a negative place right now.
I am.
And
What is wrong with me? It's a full moon tonight. I'm obviously ovulating because it's a
Yeah.
full moon. You know my moon cycle.
Is
What?
that supposed to bring good energy or bad energy? A full moon. I thought good.
It's supposed to be
stuff,
supposed to be
right?
good, but this is full moon in Scorpio. I don't know what the fuck it's doing to me, but it's really fucking with me. Really fucking with me. And I've been feeling very down about myself today, but not like weirdly haven't gone to the normal place that I go, which is the body, you know? Which
Yeah.
so I'm glad for that. Grateful
Yeah.
for the small gifts that
Yeah.
the moon provides. But for whatever reason, I'm just feeling like really
about
I'm
who
really
you are as a
negative.
person.
Yeah, just like bad about it all.
Yeah.
What is that?
I don't know. Well, let's listen to this great interview with Caissie Wilson.
Okay.
And then maybe when we come back, you'll be feeling better about yourself.
I don't think so, but okay.
We'll try.
Function of beauty, function of beauty. Mango, rose, pear, eucalyptus. What's your favorite? Those are just some of the amazing scents available with Function of Beauty's customized shampoo and conditioner. I actually really do get down with a mango vibe. I love it. That was the one we had last. That was the one I ordered last, was the mango flavored.
Mango?
Yeah. Your perfect hair.
Yeah, I went right for a mango, but I want to get pear next.
Listen, we know what your perfect hair looks like. How does it smell? Scent is perhaps the body's most underappreciated of the senses. It powers your taste, it creates memories, and yes, it even unleashes desire. It does. Guys, you know we've talked about Function of Beauty before. We love it. It's the leader in fully customized hair care. They create a unique formula based on a thorough quiz, but it's not too long. Don't worry. It's kind of short. and they give your hair everything it needs to look and feel its best. Every product is sulfate and paraben free, which is great for my kids because one of my kids is allergic to sulfates, vegan, cruelty-free. There are over 60,000 real 5-star customer reviews, and Function of Beauty fans are absolutely wild about the fragrances. I mean, I love them too. My hair has never smelled so good. So tropical mango is my favorite. There's sweet peach, crisp pear, and there's subtler scents like lavender, rose, and eucalyptus. I also do like the lavender. I've gotten that one before a bunch. And I use the lavender on Cricket because we do bath at night, and I want her to wind down, a little aroma therapy. And if fragrance is not your thing, that's okay too. You can get unscented. So turn your beauty routine into an aromatherapy session, or in my case, with the mango, a tropical getaway. I love it. Go to functionofbeauty.com/best and take your quiz and save 20% on your first order. That applies to their full range of customized hair, skin, and body products. That's functionofbeauty.com/best to let them know that you heard about it here and to get 20% off your order. functionofbeauty.com/best. You know what I was just thinking, Caissie, as I was reading your book, The Wreckage of My Presence? How long did it take you to come up with the title of your book?
The title, not long, but it took me a long time to write it.
4 years? Mm-hmm. Yeah, because when we worked together on Sackett Sisters, I feel like you were starting to write your book.
I was like, here I go.
I hadn't even gotten a book deal yet.
Oh, I know.
My book has come and gone.
And it's not gone, but it's come.
No,
and
it's definitely. Yeah, I mean, it's in paperback, I guess. I don't know.
It's been adapted.
It feels like I actually am like jealous that it took you so long and that it's now coming out, because like I feel like it's so nice you've been able to really hone in on what the stories you wanted to tell.
I definitely honed in. I took some time to hone in. I was like writing one essay a year at the pace I was going.
Is that what you were doing, or were you just like, I mean, first of all, you had 2 kids. When we worked together, you were newly pregnant?
Yeah, with my...
With your second.
Second, okay.
Yeah,
like,
I know Max existed.
Yes, Max
but he
existed.
was a baby.
Yes, and Bear was on the way. And
That's
Root.
right. You call him Bear, right? His name's Henry? Henry Bear?
I basically tell anyone they can call him whatever they would like, which I know is very strange to give someone an option for your kid's name. Some people call him Henry, some people call him Bear. It's different. It's very different. Because like you're the mom, you tell people what people to call your son, and I'm like, I don't know. His middle name is Bear. He calls himself that.
And yeah, you're waiting to see what he prefers, Henry or Bear.
Kind of. He likes both. So but Henry Bear together sounds so kind of like dumb when I know I named him that again. I know a lot of this falls to me.
Listen, you're talking
at one point
to,
I was asking like his spirit soul, like what name does he want? Like I'm working it out, but we're not there yet.
I miss you so much. I love you. And I truly am sad like every 2 months that show we did together didn't get picked up. The pilot we did together. I
just was thinking that. And the fact that our pilot that no one's ever seen has entered some small level of consciousness is all you're doing and speaks to your reach and your following. People are like, oh, I still wish I could see that pilot. And meanwhile, I've been in like 10 things. Like I've been in things on the air for many years. People like never saw that, never even heard of it.
And they're like, but Sackett Sisters.
They're like, ooh, that was a good one. It almost feels like it has a legend surrounding it.
It does have a legend surrounding it.
Busy. I never even saw it. I asked to be sent it, and I
seen it.
But we don't need to see it. We don't need to see it. We know what happened.
It exists in perfection in my mind's eye.
That's why I don't like watching things back. I'm like, oh, I thought I did well that day, or I had a great time there. I was like, oh, I'm a bad actress. Okay, well, yeah.
Well,
it's like Schrodinger's pilot. It's perfect and alive inside the box. You know what I mean?
Yes. And it's just, it could need not even be touched.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be, but also what I want to say, because you just mentioned that you don't love watching yourself, whatever, but what's so clear in reading your book I truly loved. Look, it's 6 here. I'm going to have wine.
God bless.
I also was like trying to figure out how the fuck to do this interview from my bath because I wasn't a full bath person, I think, when we worked together. I mean, I've always been a bath person,
Okay.
but I've really committed to the bath life.
Can I just say I'm glad you didn't figure out how to do it because I think it would be so bad for Caissie and Caissie to watch Busy get electrocuted.
Really bad.
I mean, it would have been insane.
Guys, I want to just speak to that very briefly. On my podcast, I mentioned that I didn't know. This is how I lack a very common sense sometimes. I knew it, but it wasn't quite clear that you shouldn't be in the bath with your phone plugged in.
Oh, yeah, a girl died.
Yeah.
A girl died.
And I just simply mentioned that. And I'm telling you, it's never hit a nerve. I got flooded with letters of people, and I don't want to brag, at all based off of a woman's death, but that people think I may have saved their lives in the future.
Here's what I'm going to say. I'm glad you're mentioning it here again.
It's a public service announcement, and this is the platform someone of my stature can get.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you get full credit here
Thank you,
again.
Thank you
for that.
Please don't try to take this one. This is
I'm not ever
my
ever.
passion project.
Ever. I would never dream of
Your
it.
cause, celebrate.
You could be an ambassador, but I am leading the charge on this one.
The literal charge. Do not.
Caissie, I love you so much. Are you good? How are you doing? Are you okay? Is everything okay? The pandemic,
know.
2 children. What's fucking happening? You're back at work. You're shooting something.
I'm shooting the show that's been shooting for about 7 months. That is just never ending. But
What
I
is
really
that
love.
one?
It's called The Shrink Next Door.
You've never been on more TV shows than you are in this moment right now.
I don't know about that. I mean, I'm on this Zoom, but it's really fun. It's with Paul Rudd and Will Ferrell and Katherine Hahn and myself, and it's a dream. They're all like, when is this over? And I'm like, I never want it to end.
Caissie, do you know what that is? Do you know what it's about?
What?
Caissie.
The show?
No, not Caissie.
I was like, you kidding?
Oh my God. Not Caissie
I
Wilson.
thought you meant on like an existential level. Like, do you know what this is about? I was like, what?
It sounds like it's about a shrink next door.
It's so fucking good. Was it a podcast or was it okay? Because listen, here's what happens. I don't listen to podcasts. That's just a disclaimer. I don't. I don't.
It's like when makeup artists have terrible makeup. It's
It happens.
Here's what I'm going to say. One of the things that Mark does really well for me is he identifies media that I will never consume and then tells me every important detail about it that I need to know. And so I know the story of The Shrink Next Door from the podcast that Mark listened to and then told me all the details. And I can't wait for this show. I'm very excited about it.
But he can do it the same with the show. Honestly, I mean,
no, I'm going to watch the show. Also, you're so crazy. So you guys, Caissie and I have known each other for years. Oh, and I was trying to think, how did we first meet?
I don't know.
I can't remember.
I remember being at a New Year's party of yours and Jason
Segel's. That's where we met.
And
that's where we met.
Like I was like wandering around, just like, wow.
You were on SNL at that time.
God, maybe I was.
You
this
were
was a long time ago.
Because oh my God, why Taryn?
That's the one where he wore like a Boba Fett helmet.
Yes, you came with Taryn Killam, right? Didn't you?
Me?
Yeah, and
I don't know
was
how
with
I got in there. I can't even remember who brought me.
Colby. Oh my God, you guys, what's wrong with me? I know all these people. Sometimes I forget how to say people's names, Caissie.
So do I.
Okay, wait.
I don't know if you're talking to me or Caissie, but I'll respond for
here's
both
what
of
I'm
us.
going to do. I'm going to say Saint Ange.
There we go.
When we want to talk to that Caissie, we're going to say Saint Ange, and you, because you're the guest of honor, get to keep your name. You
I'm
keep
sorry
your
to
name.
strip a host of her first name.
Caissie Rose Wilson and Caissie Lynn St. Ange.
St. Ange is really, truly the coolest last name a human could
very
have.
cool.
That's so nice. Thank you,
It really
Caissie
is.
Rose Wilson.
Okay, so that is where we met. I remember. I thought you had come with that group of people, but maybe you didn't. But I do think
I knew.
I do think you were on SNL at the time. Here's what you don't know probably is that I was pregnant with Birdie, but I wasn't telling anyone yet. And so I was like pretending to drink all night. And we had gotten a hotel room at the chateau, which was like near the house where the party was.
Yes.
And I was like so like tired. I remember talking to you. I remember talking to this girl who was like a lingerie model. And I was
Also
like,
me.
Yes. But then I was just like, I'm out. I got to go. And then I went back to the chateau and I watched this Lifetime movie about a teen girl that has unprotected sex and then becomes HIV positive, which we're of the same generation. And that was truly like, that was like in my head all the time, all the time. So much so that in that night, that New Year's Eve, you were probably still at the party having fun.
Yeah.
I watched that and I was waiting for all of my baby tests to come back. You know, your first like blood work baby tests that you get, and became convinced that I somehow was HIV positive and would find out when the baby tests came back. And then I was like what was going to happen. And I had this whole full spiral while this huge party was essentially happening next door that I was the host of. But I like had this crazy anxiety meltdown and couldn't like go back and find anyone to talk about it with, which I should have, because then it just would have gone away, right?
Right, but you stayed isolated.
I isolated myself. I had a panic. Mark finally showed up at like 3 a.m. He's like, "What's going on?" And I was like, "I'm pretty sure I'm HIV positive." He's like,
and so are you.
Yeah, he's like, that's not what's happening, but I'm sorry that you were in here by yourself. Anyway, it has nothing to do with this. Then the next time I saw you was at a restaurant in Los Feliz. Do you remember that? When you first moved to LA post SNL.
You have a great memory.
Mm-hmm. I have a great
I do
memory.
remember this. And I was like, oh, wow, maybe she lives in this neighborhood.
And, okay, I'm just going to be totally honest. I wanted to be your friend. This is like the pivot that I kind of want to talk about a little bit with you. But I feel like you have so many pivots. Do you feel like that?
I do, actually. I do. When you said that, I'm laughing because I'm like, I do.
You really do.
Yeah.
But I remember, because in the book you talk about not being asked back on Saturday Night Live, and then the headlines that came out about it, and your mother passing away. Like, it just was like your grief. Your mom passed away right when you got the show, right?
Yes, like a little bit before, but yes.
And then you were on the show for 2 years. You weren't asked back. And then you moved to LA.
Yeah.
And we're in like sort of a grief spiral.
Yes.
And I remember because I remember seeing you, and I was with Mark, and I think we had the baby with us. I think Birdie was with us.
I think so.
And I remember we walked out and I was like, should I go back and give that girl my number? I really like her. I feel like she should have friends here in LA.
Why didn't you?
Because at the time,
it's like sliding doors.
I know, it really was. And at the time, Mark and my relationship was such where he was like, that's weird. She would think that was weird. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh yeah, you're right. What a dumb thing for me to think I should do. But I wish I had.
Me too.
That's okay.
See, I always pictured you as like so cool and kind of in a separate like realm. Like even when I was like wandering around your New Year's party, I was like, I don't know if I should be here. Like I just always knew very clearly, I'm like, she's really talented. She's really cool. Everybody likes her. And obviously I loved you on Freaks and Geeks, but I was truly just, I would have been stunned if you came back and gave your number. So much so, do you guys ever feel this where there's someone like you really like and so you almost act like you're like, I don't want them to know how much I feel for them. So then you're almost cold.
Yes, almost everyone, almost every person. Yes.
Yes. And they're like, wow, I felt like that girl was rude. And you're like, no, this is literally the opposite intention I ever had. I just didn't want to bother you.
The nicest thing that anyone ever did for me is that I don't even know to this day, I don't even know if it's true, but I had an experience where I liked a person so much that I felt like I was acting like I Love Lucy crazy. Like I felt like I was just like doing wacky, like slapstick behavior. Yeah. And then finally the person was like, can I talk to you for a second? And I was like, oh my God, what is this going to be about? And the person like closed the door and was like, hey, I just want to let you know that I really like you. And I feel like I'm acting weird around you. And I was like, you do? And they were like, yeah. And I think it's because like I really like you and want to be your friend. And so I just wanted to let you know that like if I'm acting nutty, it's because like I want to be your friend so much. And I don't know if that's true or if they were just like turning it around. But either way, I love it. Either way, it was the biggest gift that anyone ever gave me. And like to this day, that person is one of my dearest friends in life.
Wow. Either way, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I also like the turnaround, just kind of wanting to tell someone something, but not putting it on you and being like, you're acting a little. Although I suspect it was that they just wanted to be your friend. But
maybe. I don't know. I've never even asked. I'll wait until we're very, very old and then be like, hey, remember when you said, were you lying?
Obviously they don't listen to the podcast.
They do. So we'll see. Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Well, so Caissie
Rose Wilson.
Would you say that the not being asked back on SNL was like the biggest? I mean, I don't know. Was that a pivot in which you were like, I got to rebound from this in a spectacular way? You were crushed? Were you crushed?
I was, but I also kind of expected it and was like a little relieved, but I didn't even let relief enter in because I'm like, you failed at this. Like, there's no relief. Would not allow relief to even like come in at all. But I was a bit relieved, but it was kind of like being on a sports team and you're just on the sports team, whatever that is. But
yes,
you're
a sports team for sure.
Sports team when you're playing on a sports activity and you're sitting on the bench and you're like, God, I want to be with all those people, but I'm here, so it's painful. And I'm like, but I don't totally belong here, and I feel like I tricked them into thinking I should be here, and it's not totally right. But then of course you want them to still like you, even though at one point I was like, I wouldn't bring me back, but.
But I guess the thing that when we talk to any comedian, literally any comedian,
almost every person who's been on this podcast, part of their pivot is that
they didn't.
Rosie O'Donnell, David Letterman, every person who's been on this podcast, part of their pivot is not getting on SNL.
Yeah. And you fucking
See,
got
in some ways, though, I wish that had been the pivot because it felt so like public. And then I got on, and then someone wrote an article saying that I left because I was overweight. They fired me. So like it just never landed the plane in any right way. So in some ways, I'm like, oh, I just wish it didn't happen. You know, I'm not quite sure why it did happen. Although what happened after it was kind of miraculous. So I'm really at peace with it, but. Every so often, I'm like, how did you fucking blow that? Like, it's hard to get on that show. That's the hard part.
That part of your book was really, really, I just found it really emotional. And like, I really appreciated how honest you were about it. It made me really angry. It made me feel a million things. I just identified really strongly because I feel like I came up like 10 years too early. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if I had been 10 years later, like things would have been different in my career. And I'm just like, the fact that you're like, had to even deal with people even wondering if you got let go because of the way your body looked when Chris Farley was a huge star on Saturday Night Live. And I just like, it's insane to me that was even.
Thank you. I agree. But you know, they have this like insane adage there of like, you have to either gain a lot of weight or lose it.
But that's not even there. That was what I was told when I
just
started.
In Hollywood. Yeah. In
Hollywood. And if you do, or if you lean toward, or you get cast in comedic roles, it was like, well, you know, you have to Jennifer Coolidge. You got to either gain like that was the whole thing that I always heard about Jennifer Coolidge.
Right.
What?
Well,
I've never heard
I literally like in the 90s heard this.
Yeah.
That like, and so maybe I don't even know if it's fucking true. Like some asshole manager said it to me.
Yeah.
That like she was just, you know, like her size, whatever. And someone said to her, like, in order to be successful, you need to gain at least like 50 pounds. You need to gain weight. So she like put on weight and then started booking all her roles.
Wow. I mean, she's so beautiful. Wow. Who the hell? It's not even about that. It's like, it's so insane to have your body. Like, I did feel there was like almost anger surrounding a body, and it's like a more middle zone, which I know sounds like, how could you feel that? No one said that. I'm telling you, I felt it.
Well, so yeah, I mean, it's also like fucking wild to have your body be a part of your career.
Yes.
I mean, I've had that, so I get it.
I talk about it in the book, and again, similar to what you were saying, Caissie, I wish I was part of the like body positive movement and that existed, and I didn't even think about weight till I was 16. I remember the first moment it occurred to me, like, is my leg big? Which I think is actually pretty long to go in life without it occurring to you that so I just think it goes to show we all pick up, I'll speak for myself, but like body issues in whatever form it is along the way. Because my mom was such a feminist, it was not ever discussed, your body in my house. And so it was like a big shock to me becoming an actress of like, wait, what? Everybody's got an issue with what? But I did actually decide to lose weight after that experience, truly because I just did not have the constitution, and so many people are stronger than me, to take that kind of criticism. I was like, I actually want to just fly under the radar here because I'm not built for this. And for myself, I want to do that. Truly, not like for myself so my career can be good and I can look great. Like, just, it was kind of traumatizing, and I wish I had the confidence to be like, fuck you guys. Like, this is who I am, and I'm so admiring of younger gals that kind of have that self-possessed.
Yeah. Can I tell you something? I worked behind the scenes. I wasn't trying to be anything but a writer. I worked behind the scenes, and I went on diet medication that our staff doctor put me on at a TV show. I wasn't.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I wasn't trying to be in
You
front
had
of
a staff doctor?
Yeah.
Wow. And they put you on. I mean, look, of course, I've done all that stuff, but that is crazy. Oh my God. Not of you. I mean, that they're, oh my God.
No, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't trying to be in front of anyone. You know what I mean? And it was just like, I mean, it was the drug that was like all the rage at the time. And then, like, turns out people were dropping dead from it. So I eventually gave it up. Yeah.
It's got to be fen-phen.
It was fen-phen, yes.
I think that's essentially what the Chinese herbalist doctor gave me when I decided I needed to be super skinny. I know.
And then I was literally in my car and I'm like, I've never felt so insane and unhinged and untethered.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. But guys, I'm saying all of this, I'm putting it out there because the pressures that we felt were real. Like, we weren't making it up. And you say in your book, which I think is like, you did make a decision, you like lost weight and you booked parts, and then like you gained weight and you lost a thing, and then you lost weight and then you got another thing, and it is.
And by the way, I've gained that weight back a million times since I made that proclamation.
100%. But also, like, it's hard when the call is coming from inside the house to be able to be like, oh wait, this is fucked. Like, I am actually not going to participate in this system, especially when you're just trying to like be a part of a thing, and you're like, okay, I'll go to the doctor that some fucking actress gave me, and then I gave you at some point, who makes you crazy, but
I passed it along to several women.
Also did make me very skinny. Guys, check out season 2 of Cougar Town if you want proof of how skinny I could be. But yeah, it's fucked.
I had this director tell me once, this was kind of the combo, is SNL happened and I did this movie, and the director, gay gentleman who I actually really liked and I still do really like, but he called me and he's like, he was in a fury over, I mean, this is like, you can't make it up. And he's like, I just saw some of the, I don't even know what, we did some photos right before we were going to shoot. We had like 6 weeks to shoot. And he's like, I saw the photos and you have to lose weight. And he was like angry. And I was just so stunned. And he's like, the way you look reflects on me.
Oh boy.
He's like, it is my name up there. And I was like,
it's my fucking body.
I was just so stunned. It wasn't like, even, a lot of people hide behind this, like the character. He was just like, like, let me level this for you. And it's just so interesting. And then you get to thinking like, God, would I have gotten my other job? Whatever. It's so boring. I'm also just so bored of talking about bodies and weight too. But
I am too. I am fucking too. And yet, when I do talk about it, I get a lot of women that are like, ugh, thank God. I'm doing my best to try to like normalize my own body. Look, this is the first, I'm going to start crying. This is the first time I did this TV show. And this is the first time that I didn't like put myself on a fucking diet. Caissie, I didn't wake up early to work out before work because work was so hard and the pandemic and my kids and we're in a new place and whatever. Like, I didn't do the things that I've like traditionally done to not think about my body because it's, because I'm like just eating whatever. You know what I mean? Like three almonds and like working out all the time.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You said something to me though that has been really helpful to me actually, which is because I always see your workouts and I'm like, it's like my porn watching your workouts. I'm just like, I get to lie here and not do shit and watch you do something and look great. And then I always text you like half-heartedly every year. I'm like, should I do leg fit? And I feel like you're always like, yeah, like if you, and then I just never, I know I'm not going to follow up. And I don't know why I want to like waste your time with that question. I bet so many people do. But you were saying to me, which I really appreciate, you're like, I really just work out for like largely mental health and like for it to make you feel better.
Yes.
And when I approach working out just from a health and kind of mental standpoint, I'm so much less resentful.
Well, that's the only way I do it now. That's the only thing I do it for, like truly. And that's what I mean, like in terms of this like last TV show, even though I'm playing like a pop star. Well, I'm playing like a former pop star, but I like I didn't, even though there were days where I was like, well, whatever. Anyway,
we're working with what we're working with.
We're working with what we're working with
the
here.
Old gal's gonna get out there. Yeah,
you know what I mean. And like, it isn't my worth and whatever. But it is hard to like retrain our brains in that way. I am grateful for the young gals coming up. I agree with you and your sentiment.
And
in the book.
Genuinely, when I look at women, I'm like, oh, they look beautiful. Like, I don't think I really. I'm not saying I'm like some great person, but I don't train any of the thoughts and energy on other women that I do myself. But also when people are like, you should have self-compassion, I'm like, bleh. It just makes me feel so upset and disgusted.
I want to know who has self-compassion, guys.
It's really interesting. I think even, when you're talking about how you wish you fell into like the body positivity movement, I think it's really interesting because I think there are women in the body positivity movement now. I try to follow, I add them into my social media so that I'm seeing them all the time. And so that it's just a thing that I see. And so it's very normal and average for me. And I look at these women and I'm like, gosh, they're so beautiful. They really are beautiful.
Yes.
And then I look at a picture of myself the same size and I'm like, oh, so it's just being hard on myself, it's just, and I guess like maybe the solution to that would be looking at more pictures of myself weirdly, maybe, I don't know, maybe, I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. But I think that you're certainly not alone in that. Yeah. But one thing I wanted to talk to you about is a really beautiful moment in your book that made me cry is that
Louis Anderson. I know it.
Louis Anderson.
I knew it. I knew you were going to fucking say it. Really? St. Ange. I knew it. I wrote it. Wait, I wrote it down because I knew you were going to bring it up. Look at Louis Anderson.
If Louis Anderson is having a moment in the world,
in
but he
your life,
sure
in
is
your
having
life.
a moment with me. Louis Anderson really is having a moment with me, and I was so happy to see you mention that moment with him.
Fucking story. You guys get the book, please. Get Caissie's book. You're a fan. You fucking love her and everything she's in. You probably, if you're a fan of the Housewives, which I am not. But then,
and that's why we can't have you on the podcast.
I know. But listen, you should have Caissie because she worked at fucking Bravo forever.
Okay, so I'm going to be honest. Go on, Caissie. This is a part of me saying I don't want to bother someone. This is what's happening here with the Housewives.
I was going to say I lit up a little bit because I have to be honest. I was having one of those days where I was like, talk about positivity, how you need a little positivity. I was like, having one of those days where I was just like, what is my life? What have I done with my life? And so I was like, cracked open Caissie's book and was reading it. And then I saw her mention this phrase is in Caissie Rose Wilson's book, the OG of the OC, Vicki Gunvalson. I, if I may toot my own horn, am the person that coined the phrase, the OG of the OC.
Oh no, you guys, you can't see this at home because it's a podcast. Caissie Wilson just dropped her mic. She dropped the mic.
I'm coming all the way in. What?
So if I never did anything
You
else,
are. You're the woman behind Vicki Gunvalson. You're the Wizard of Oz.
If I've never done anything else, if I never do anything else in my career, when Watch What Happens Live first
Caissie,
started.
I've never been so disrespectful to someone to not immediately know and thank you for the work that you've done. And I salute you for that because that should be on your tombstone.
Well,
for
thank
sure.
you. Thank you. I always felt really proud of that because, you just in a moment, like I was writing an intro for Vicki Gunvalson coming on Watch What Happens Live, and you try to be cute and you try to be pithy and make it like
and
zippy. And I did it. And then it became like her tagline on The Housewives. And I was like, wow, I really did something in pop culture. Like
It's
really did.
It's huge. And now, Caissie, I'm so remiss for not asking you because I remember Danielle and I were like, oh, we should have Caissie. And then I was like, do people that are that connected to the show like to come on? I was like, I don't know. She's so cool. I was like, I don't know. And I'm always scared to ask people. And you're really, what I'm realizing is you're the dream guest and you're sitting right in front of me.
By the way,
you were here
Caissie,
the whole time.
Caissie Wilson, St. Ange knows fucking everything. It is wild. She would tell us shit and I'm like, this means nothing to me.
It's kind of wasted on you, if I may, Busy.
100% wasted on me.
Wow.
You know what's very interesting to me is that like because I was like I got that job at Watch What Happens Live when Best Week Ever, where we know a lot of that's where I know you from. A lot of my friends from the show Best Week Ever. Best Week Ever, which was like a dream job for me, ended, and Watch What Happens Live started, and it was really only supposed to go for like 7 weeks. And I was very sad that my fun show with all my fun comedy friends ended, and I was like. Got hired on this job with Andy Cohen, here's a funny Andy Cohen anecdote. A few weeks into Watch What Happens Live, he was like jokingly calling me Taffy. And he was like, Taffy, I've only, he said, Taffy, I know we've only been working together for a few weeks, but it really feels like we've known each other for much longer. And I was like, well, we've worked together 2 times before. And he was like, oh, we have? On what? And then, so I told him like on what shows we had worked together before. And he was like, oh, but that also made me feel good because I was like, well, I really got this job like on the strength of, because he didn't even remember having worked with me before.
Oh my God.
I love it. He's like, it feels like we knew each other in another life. You're like, last week. Yeah, we did.
But so anyway, like
I'm your assistant.
I really just enjoyed myself because I really like saw those housewives as like very real people. They're very real people to me.
And to me.
Yeah.
And to me, I have such love for them.
I appreciate this. You like tell a story in your book about momming and like just about you don't want your kids to be assholes, which I get. It's hard in LA. Caissie, I'm just going to say it.
I know.
Your kids are younger than mine. But anyway, are you a mom that can like play with your children?
Absolutely not.
I can't.
I hate it.
I can't do the playing.
Guys, I've been putting on a stopwatch. Like I'm setting an alarm, like just fucking get down there for 7 minutes. My friend's like, you could do 15 minutes as anything. I'm not a big get down on the floor person.
Can't do
Caissie,
it.
you have a son, right? Am I wrong?
I have
2.
2 boys.
But they're
they're
boys.
they're men. They're grown men now.
Okay.
Whatever St. Ange did, you should do because she's got literally the greatest almost adult men of anyone I've ever.
I didn't play with them either. But I'll tell you what, I was thinking about my time with them when you were talking about what a bath family and how much you guys love baths. Because what I would do with them is I would just put them in the yard, let them get as dirty as possible, strip them naked on the front porch, put them right up in the bathtub, leave the bathtub empty, go make their dinner, and then just like let them eat dinner while I was like giving them a bath.
Hosing them off.
Hosing them.
And that is their most pleasant childhood memory. They would be like,
because as you're telling it, I'm like, love is washing over me. I'm like, you're a great mom.
They would just be like, remember when we would have like dinner in the bathtub and you would like let us have ice cream and then just like wash us off.
I used to
put us to bed.
We would give Cricket dinner in the bath. Cricket's a real bath. Cricket's a bath
person. A bath person.
Yeah.
Cricket's a bath person. I'm a bath person. Birdie takes all their meals in their bed. I mean, teenagers maybe just are bed people, but I think
not too many adults do, like me.
I think it's going to stick. I mean, I am shocked that you are so forthcoming in the book, even talking about your own thumb sucking.
Mm-hmm.
Which I know about. I have a baby blanket.
Did I tell you that?
Yes, because we talked about it because I have a baby blanket.
Yeah, but that is nothing compared to sucking your thumb. I mean, it's bad.
Well, they both are not great.
No.
Do you have any family members who are also thumb suckers?
I don't. My son, when my husband's like, the sight, and I feel like I'm going to get like, when those mom shamers come after you, like I'm going to get an army of it. Yeah.
Well, fuck them.
My husband is like, to see a parent sucking a thumb alongside a child. He's like, my eyes have never seen a sight so disturbing. He's like, so upsetting. And I'm like, look, my husband's like, I guess I thought it wouldn't happen in front of the kids. Like, he's like, before they were born, it was like, okay, you suck your thumb occasionally. But he's like, I never, see, okay, everyone's faces are puzzled. Yeah.
Well, I'm curious because do you suck your thumb like watching TV or like when
like
does
at
it
night
happen?
before bed.
Just
It's not like rogue
bed.
during the day. I mean, if some things get really down during the day, maybe, occasionally.
Maybe. Why not?
I'm just wondering if it isn't like a genetic thing because I had an aunt.
Appreciate that, Caissie.
No, I had an aunt who sucked her thumb as an adult, and also one of her children possibly still sucks his thumb as an adult.
I do think my dad bites his nails like crazy. I bite my nails. There's like some oral fixation addiction runs rampant. Like I think it's all of a piece of just like filling that God-sized hole, as they call it.
Which even now they believe might have to do with like gut bacteria.
Yeah, I think. Wait,
What?
I want to tell you both something. So first of all, yes, there's a correlation between gut bacteria, but also because
sucking your thumb or addiction.
biting your fingernails, peeling your fingers.
I've ignored everything on gut bacteria. I'm like, I can't take that on. I can't get into
It's
that.
a lot.
I don't know
But
what
listen,
to do. I think I'm okay, but maybe I'm
here's
not.
Here's what I know from your book.
Go ahead.
Is that it's okay for you to be late to something. You don't have to be on the trend in the moment that the trend has hit.
Just become upset about Scientology.
I was laughing so hard out loud. I was a big thumb sucker. Wait, do you feel like you guys would ever move here?
I don't. My husband's family's all here.
Oh.
I don't know. I spent so much energy being like, I hate LA, I hate it. And then one day I was like, I actually think I really love it. I love all my friends out here. I have a great life. I don't know. I really like it. I think I would miss too much. So many of my friends have all left New York now. I have but you, Adam Pally, and one other girlfriend from NYU, and that is it.
Mm-hmm. Well, the good news is that Pally, Andrew Rannells, and I all live on the exact same street.
And Andrew Rannells. That's what I told Andrew. I'm like, all three of the people I know in New York are on one street.
Isn't that weird?
It's very weird.
So weird.
Are you friends with Andrew? Oh, you are because he did your show.
Yes.
I just was at dinner with him 2 nights ago. I love him so much.
I saw your Instagram.
Busy. A couple people have been telling me that I need to step up my social media, and it's just I have to tip my hat to you. I really do. You were a pioneer in this space.
I was a pioneer.
Who's been telling you have to step up your social media?
I was just about to
my
ask
hair
that.
person, Clayton Hawkins, Caissie, my hair person, Clayton, and some people have mentioned.
I mean,
again, I'll take feedback if you haven't seen.
I mean, listen. Here's what I'll say.
Do you enjoy it?
At this point, no. Fuck
I feel like it's kind of like I think
it's
everybody's
over.
kind of like over and exhausted by it. And
yeah,
just
I think
like,
it's over too.
You just gotta kind of use it for like what it's good for you.
And everybody, Caissie, is hiring those fucking people that like come over and like shoot like a month worth of content for you, and then
those
just,
little
like post
youngsters,
whoever they fucking are, like. Cut the names out. Say Anj, cut the names out. But like, and now I think like all have the same company doing it for them.
I'm like, who's taking those photos?
Well, it's a company that you pay, and they come over on like, you book 2 days a month or whatever, and they come over and they're like, do you have like a chicken parm recipe? And then they shoot it for you and edit it, and then they just like take over and they upload it and they like do all the shit for you.
I didn't even know this was
too
an
much.
option. It's too much.
It's too much.
Because I do think it's got to just be fun or like throwaways or whatever. You are in a different category in that you used it in such a beautiful, perfect way. But it's just I don't have it in me really.
Caissie, let me tell you something. The way that I used Instagram, and also was like around the same time almost. Well, you were a little before me. Is what Bitch Sesh is for you, and the people that love Bitch Sesh, and And also, listen, every motherfucker can start a podcast during a pandemic. Hi, how are you? My name is Busy Phillips. But you guys,
All right.
whether or not you give the credit to like Paul being like, you guys really should do this, whatever, who cares? You guys tapped into a real thing and you have a real connection and a real community with a lot of people around. I mean, so many people around the country because of Bitch Sesh that goes so far beyond just like being fans of Housewives. That's like your commonality. But the real connection is incredibly special. And I think that the thing that you see in my Instagram, you've already done in your own podcast.
Wow, Busy. Thank you. This is genuinely touching me. I appreciate it. Genuinely, I really appreciate it. I'm like, talk about flip the script. I'm like, God, I fucking did that already. No, thank you.
Did.
But you're right. No, the podcast is so special. And you're right. That's what you did with Instagram, which is wonderful. Now, when you guys say you think it's done, are you saying all social media?
Wait, I fucking love you so
Could you
much.
clarify that?
Let's
You both
just
said
clarify.
it so quick.
I think that, I think that it has, what it is now at this point is like so commodified.
Yeah.
And I am a perfect example of someone who takes advantage of that. And I love it.
As
and I'm
you
like
should.
I'm already nostalgic for that it's over. Do you know what I mean? Like I just feel the
I'm
end
just starting. Okay.
Well,
okay. So maybe
know.
I should just retreat. Okay. And now, are you on TikTok?
Fuck no. I mean, I cannot.
Well, I think it'd be a good medium for you.
I can't.
But do you guys want to get on TikTok and maybe get like a TikTok mansion together?
Yes.
Well, I would do that.
Yes. 100%.
Wait, also though, you know what I would do? Caissie, I would do, and St. Ange, Caissie and Caissie. I would do like a TikTok mom mansion for the summer.
Perfect. See, you always have the cutting edge ideas. I'm in.
And it's like the Hamptons or wherever. I don't know where people fucking go, but I'm on the East Coast now, so.
Yeah, we'll come
the
to
Hamptons.
you. Okay.
We'll come to you.
Caissie and I'll fly.
And it's just like mom mansion, just a bunch of moms trying to figure out TikTok this summer.
We have 90 days. We figured out on day 86.
I'm giving us less. We have 3 weeks to figure it out.
3 weeks. Okay.
We
All
have
day,
3
every
weeks.
day.
Wait, we have 3 weeks to go viral.
Yes. And we start with like they hand us a phone and it's like fucking go time, and we got
That's
props
it.
and cookbooks and we got everything we could.
What are we going to do?
Need.
Who are you going to
What
be
are
on
we gonna
TikTok?
do?
And it's you and me. And who else are we? Who
June
else are
Diane
we
Raphael, I think is going to have to be in
Well,
there.
Obviously, June. I love the way you write June in your book because I hear her saying her
voice.
things. I hear
voice.
her voice. I hear her saying the ridiculous things
That she is want to say.
There is no one like June.
No one like her. I was just recalling to a friend what June did at my bachelorette party that I have to tell you all because it's so unbelievably insane and revolutionary at the same time. Quickly. So we're at my bachelorette party. It's like 12 women. And you know how it's all walks of life. It's like my girlfriend from 3rd grade who's like a teacher in Iowa. And, my actress friend and my manager and my neighbor, We're all walks of life. So we go out the first night to a Mexican restaurant. We have a great time.
I imagine you're in Palm Springs.
Of course we are, Busy. You know where we are. We're at the Parker. The next day we're all in that like weird indoor pool. And
I hate that indoor pool.
It's so bizarre. So we're there and we're going to have the big night is tonight. And everyone's just splashing about and chit-chatting and talking, getting to know one another. And June basically clinks on her glass and says, "Excuse me."
No.
Now, when I tell you all, because you're going to ask yourself, she was joking. You're going to be like, oh, she was joking. And this is not a joke, guys.
No.
She goes, "Listen, everyone, I'm going to have to say something." She's like, I just would like to ask for a bit of a different energy and spirit and aesthetic for tonight.
No.
So I'm thinking, okay, this is like something, I don't know, she's introducing a new concept. And she's like, I just feel like last night the vibrations were quite low. based on the way everyone presented themselves. And she's like, and I just know each and every fucking one of you can do better than what happened last night. And everyone's like, I'm sorry, what? And she goes, so I don't know if this means we need to hit up the hotel gift shop for looks. I don't know if we're trading, mixing, and matching. She's like, I'm talking about outfits and looks. I'm talking about makeup. I'm also talking about just like personal energy and vibrations.
Yeah, just what you're bringing.
She said, please bring more and want more from yourself.
No.
Yes. Everyone was. My friend Amanda was like, so then later she was putting her makeup on in the room and I came in and I said, June, I got to tell you, some people are feeling a little scared. Like someone said they only brought cover-ups. And she goes, who? I was like, I'm so scared. But God damn it, if people didn't show up looking like $1 million, bringing an energy that was just nothing short of, it was through the roof.
They brought
and she was right.
She was right.
She was,
and
she knew, she's like, lift yourself. Let's look alive here,
she
guys.
knew that was the time to make that call. That's
and she
a real
knew everybody
best
could
friend.
do it, but people, it was hard to receive that. You know, it's basically like, you guys looked like shit and you weren't fun last night. Everyone was like, oh, wow.
And I'm going to need you all to show the fuck up tonight for my best friend.
Up. Yes.
My lady love.
Yeah. She didn't single anyone out.
No, she said it was across the board. Not one person was bringing what she wanted and what she expected.
I mean, you know.
And she told me I was included in this. It was like, and you too.
No.
And we asked, and did you feel you brought a lot? And she said, I did. I did feel I did bring a lot.
Wait, listen, I have a question. So yes. I didn't really, because I guess I didn't really understand that you and June went to NYU together?
Yes, we met when we were 17 in an acting class, a clown class. In a clown class. And yeah, so then we lived together for years and years and years, and we moved out to LA together and have been writing partners, and then we both had 2 sons. I mean, it's been a wild kind of parallel lives. Thing. Yeah.
And you guys both, I do feel like, because Caissie writes about this in her book, and listen, I'm gonna say a couple things here.
Okay.
Number one,
I had brought more to this interview.
I do not.
Okay.
Number one, you work hard enough, Caissie.
Thank you.
If you had been lying down, I would have been happy.
I know. I propped myself right on up.
But I feel like you have worked so fucking hard, and you and June were like fucking hustle. What I appreciate about you, what I see in you that I recognize from myself is the fucking hustle.
Yeah.
And the like, I'm gonna get it done. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get it done. And you and June had a very successful show at UCB that got taken to the Aspen Comedy Festival. And then you were like asked to be writers. And I think that is like interesting and worth noting, because you both have written scripts that people love, Bride Wars. You did that thing. And a lot of times people get like stuck in a groove.
Yeah.
I know you love therapy. Have you ever done EMDR?
No. What is that?
EMDR is like the tapping thing.
No, someone was telling me about that.
Are you still in psychoanalysis? Psychoanalysis.
Psychoanalysis.
3 times a week?
No, I'm down to 1 time a week right now.
Wow.
But we just do it over the phone. It's kind of devolved into, I think, regular therapy, because I still have my same therapist from when I was 20.
Wow.
Do you find that helpful? Seriously.
I do. I think because I had come in, spoken so much about my mom, as you do, especially in psychoanalysis. Now I'm like, what is it? And then we were going to part ways when I moved to LA, but my mom died like a couple days after I moved here. And then it was like, well, I can't possibly like find someone new. And then it kind of worked out that I was on the phone and I didn't have to drive to Beverly Hills. And I loved her so much that we just have continued on the phone, and she's in New York and I'm here.
But
so I see her if I go to New York. Yes.
Have you ever thought there might be some validity to doing a different therapy or a different therapist?
Probably. And I've had a different couples therapist.
Well, that's great.
Of course, yes.
Who do you guys see? What's that person's name?
We see a gal who's 2 doors down from us. We ended up moving 2 doors away from her. And my husband still drives to her house. 2 doors down. That's not a joke. But I do seek out many, many, many different modalities of care. So something about my therapist is like a ballast for me. I think not having a mom, and I'm sure I've like made her into a mom in a way that she's probably highly uncomfortable with. But for me, I like to change every single thing up. You know, I've had so many managers and every type of thing. But with her, I'm like, I don't even want to know what things would look like on the other side of this wonderful woman.
It is interesting because I have had multiple therapists my whole life. And I feel like new therapists often give you like a totally different perspective.
Yeah. Maybe I'm just like too lazy to find a new perspective, but I feel like, you know, I'm so into the psychics and the thises and the that's.
I love it. Oh, by the way, I have the best. Do you follow Marcella Kroll on Instagram? No relation to Nick. No relation. Just total sidebar.
I'm looking for this woman on Instagram. Okay.
Marcella Kroll.
Okay.
What is her handle?
Saved by the Spell.
Saved by the Spell.
Oh, Saved by the Spell. Oh.
One of the best readings I've had in forever.
Wow.
And you would love her. You're going to love her. She's a witch. She's the greatest. You're going to love her.
Artist, intuitive, deck creator, performer, and host. Multi-dimensional artist. I love it. Okay, this is very exciting. I love to follow new kind of spiritual type
people
me too. On Instagram. It's wonderful.
We have a lot in common. Oh, I wanted to ask you this. I had other questions, but I don't remember them, and we have to let you go soon. Did you send your book to the people that you talk about in your book that maybe you changed their names, but they're still very clearly the people that you're talking about in your book?
So anyone that I mentioned in the book, I called them. It was almost felt like amends and make sure they were okay with me using their name and whatever they said or did. And then I'm going to send to them. There are 2 people that I did not reach out to at this time, but I haven't sent it to like Louis Anderson. I actually didn't run it by him because I was like, I think it's positive, I hope, but I'm going to send him a note and with the book. Nor did I run it by Susan Sarandon, who
that was my question.
Yeah, no. But I hope it's flattering. I mean, no one loves to hear that when I was interning for her, I used her office after hours without her permission to mail my headshots. But I'm hoping that with the gauze of time.
Well, she's a socialist, so hopefully she doesn't mind that you shared her stuff.
Caissie, you're right. It would honestly be against her creed and her ethos.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Thank you.
I mean,
we are flipping the script a lot here.
I'm here to help you.
Let me tell you something.
Me.
I think Caissie is now seeing why Saint Ange is so valuable in my life.
Oh, I'm seeing so much right now that I love. Yeah. And Caissie, you're going to get a text so quickly about this podcast. It's going to alarm and shock you.
Well, I love you. You've always been so kind to me. We've run into each other over the years. You've always been so lovely to me. I know you through Paul Scheer and June Diane Raphael, who were the first audience members of Watch What Happens Live.
I know it? Don't I hear about it?
I'm sure that's probably, because they were friends of mine. We didn't have audience members, and I begged Andy, please let my friends, they love the Housewives.
I remember the night that they went. I'm like, where are you going? They're like, oh, our friend. I don't know. They were very like, we don't know where we're going, basically.
You could have been there, Caissie. Has that ever occurred to you?
Of course it has.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I was just like, my friends will be quiet. They won't make a peep. They'll just,
They'll just be there for good energy.
Yeah. And Andy was like, oh, yeah, of course, that's fine, because he was so nice. And then he was like, I love the energy that they brought.
Right, but it seems like you also set the template for the show, which is like a very kind of tiny, cozy audience.
Yes.
I'm seeing you're really up to stuff. And I always knew it. And I heard so much wonderful things about you from Paul, but wow.
Well, that's nice.
OG, wow. Okay. I need to hear
I do think
20
Caissie
hours from you.
I do think my Caissie needs to be on your Caissie and Danielle's podcast.
It's happening. It's happening immediately. And
I think that there's a lot.
I'm ashamed that I haven't had you on. And this is a formal apology because...
Oh, no need to apologize. But I do love you so much. And I love Danielle. I've known her for years. We also worked together on an ill-fated project with Andy Cohen years ago.
Does she know that? What project?
We can talk about it on the.
Okay. Yeah. You know what, Busy? We can't give you every scoop. Okay. Every clickbait can't be for here.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wait until Mark listens to Bitch Sesh and then tells
Let him give
me.
the highlights. Let him give the highlights.
Okay. So but this is what I want to say, because I do think that we're trying to, I do feel like one thing from your book that is so fucking moving, and I feel like everybody should get it and read it. You're going to be a New York Times bestselling author for sure.
For sure.
Guys,
Let's be real.
Thank you.
Let's be real.
Let's be real.
Why wouldn't we fucking be real?
All right.
But one thing that I want to say is that, like, I remember seeing you at that restaurant in Los Feliz, and that feeling of like, I wanted to go back and give you my number, because I felt like you were so sad. Like, you were like, you were with your boyfriend at the time. And I just remember feeling like just such grief and sadness and honestly trauma from you.
Yeah.
And I think it's so important, Caissie, for people. You're so open with yourself and who you are and whatever. You named your fucking book The Wreckage of My Presence, right?
Yeah.
But the truth is, like, all this stuff that has come after that point, like, you have done. And I loved, like, my favorite part of the book is like midway through when you see the psychic, or you do drugs.
Mm-hmm. Both.
You do drugs.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And you get the message from yourself that, like, this all had to happen because you had to, like, meet your husband. You had to come do this incredible show, Happy Endings, which is like, seems really transformative for you as an artist in terms of like what it is that you realized you wanted to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
As a performer, right?
Yeah.
And then you meet David through that, and you have these kids, and like, life is fucking weird and messy, and like, you can be at your lowest point, but you just kept moving forward.
Well, I so appreciate you saying that. And I think, your guys' podcast I love in the sense of like, where you think one thing is such a failure, like just to take us back to SNL. And I was like, this is such a horrible low. But then the next job is where I met my husband. And I think even professionally, it was like where I was meant to be. And so all those things to me are so kind of magical, even though at the time they're such a fucking bummer. But, guys, don't make me say it. Rejection is God's protection.
Well,
remember, I believe it, please.
100%.
I hate myself, but I had to say it.
Wait, you have to say it. But the thing that's so clear, even in in the way that you write about happy endings, is that it did something for you that was like more than just like a job. It like restored your belief.
Equilibrium and belief in the world. Yes.
Yes, it really did.
It really did.
And like, even that it was like an environment, like such a nurturing environment that you could fall in love with someone there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you had met your husband in any other place.
But also, she fell in love with everyone there.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, everyone is there.
When like shout out to Jonathan Groff, the loveliest person. I mean, he just, not the Jonathan Groff, the television and Broadway
Frozen.
star, the other Jonathan,
not that one.
the showrunner Jonathan Groff,
Loveliest human on earth.
And they're both lovely, but this one is the one that we're talking about is just like, what a good guy.
Do I know
a
him,
good guy.
guys? Do I know him?
You should know him. Listen, one time I just talked about how pretty pomegranates were on Twitter. I just said that, like, I was like, have you ever seen a guy like turn his head to stare at a pretty woman and walk into a sign? That's how I am with pomegranates on trees. And he messaged me, I left a bag of pomegranates for you on my porch.
He's the loveliest man of all time.
No, guys, I don't think I know him. I don't think I know him.
He's just an incredible writer and human and person.
Yeah.
He ran Conan for the first like 10 years, and then he kind of helmed Blackish with Kenya forever. Yeah. He's the best.
Yeah, he's just you should know him, Busy.
Yes, you would love him.
He's just an angel.
I know. everyone there was just so nice, which is, is a rare experience, guys, where as I left the show, sometimes when you're like, oh, I know this experience is so great, it will never happen again. And I was right. You're just like, I know it. And I appreciate how great it is. And I don't want it to end for a reason. And I mean, I'm actually really, really loving the show I'm on now too. And they all have different things, but then some of them are just horrible.
Right.
And I knew this is
I think
such
you
a
guys
special
did.
experience.
It was interesting to be sort of like in the periphery of you guys, the happy ending guys, because I did feel it. Like I did see what you were experiencing at the time even, and was like, I was having like a great experience on Cougar Town at the time too, but like I could tell.
I mean, did you feel that this is not me on any level comparing happy endings to Freaks and Geeks, which was like a cultural touchstone and phenomena, but did you feel that when you were filming that show?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. Like what you were describing, and it's a bummer because in my book, Caissie,
please, your book is wonderful. Remember Andrew Randall when I
fine.
came to the book party?
I know, I do remember that.
And we drank so much. Go on.
Oh, bless.
We were the last people to leave. Ira Madison, Andrew Randall's and I.
Honestly, name me a better fucking trio.
It was a triumvirate. Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost sat there.
Truly.
They were like, please leave. Please leave.
No one said that. No. But yes, and I feel sad that in my retelling of my own history vis-a-vis Freaks and Geeks that I wasn't as like effusive in my memory and what everybody brought to the table. I mean, you are so generous to your co-stars from that show that I'm like, I don't even know half of those adjectives, nor would I ever use them to describe someone other than myself. Like you are like, so
yeah, but you were telling a specific story and you'll have many more books and slices from different things, I
don't know. But I did just love it.
If
like,
you
I
want
love,
one, when Social dies, you'll jump back to publishing world.
I did pitch an essay today to my therapist and Mark. There were no bites.
No.
Well, neither of them are publishing magnates. So
I hope Mark knows I Feel Pretty is like one of my favorite movies.
Oh, that's so nice.
Of all, I've seen it, I want to say upwards of 6 or 7 times. I am obsessed with it. It's a fucking perfect movie. It makes me so happy. Like
I love it too.
It's so funny. The colors, the message, like everything about it is perfect.
I love it too. And it got such a bad fucking bullshit thing because of social media and because of the trailer.
Yes, people got it twisted, but everyone I talk to about it loves it. I feel like that ironed itself out. I really do, because
it ironed itself out, but like
Oprah said she loved it. How can we forget that?
I'm still waiting for my moment. Have you had your moment yet?
With Oprah?
Yeah.
No.
When is that going to happen?
I mean, remember when she called the show? I've watched that clip 20,000 times. I literally would just watch the clip over and over.
St. Ange really surprised me. Really surprised me.
You're really a dream maker, aren't you, Caissie?
She really is.
I mean, we have to talk about that on the podcast because I don't think we've ever really talked about it. But that was like truly a heart in my throat adventure. Because Caissie Rose Wilson, when Oprah said she'd call in to the show, I went to our director Liz Plonka and I was like, hey, Oprah might call in today. Like, are we like set up to do that? And she was like, yeah, I think so. And then she came to me like 5 minutes later and she was like, we don't have fucking phone lines in this studio.
No phone lines. We had no fucking phone lines.
And so I was like, what are we gonna do? And
what
she
are
was
we
like,
gonna do? I'm nervous even though I've seen it. Okay.
She was like, we're either gonna run 1,000 wires of phone line to the store next door, or we're gonna do something.
Smart.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. But anyway, that's an adventure for another day. But everybody did it all without busy noticing one thing.
Well, is that surprising?
Did you levitate out of your body, Busy?
Yes, 100%. 100%. I also just was like, it was so hard. The whole thing was so hard, right? St. Ange, like
we had
all
been
of it.
sick and we had,
but just all of it, just like we were trudging up a mountain that no one asked us to climb. No one wanted us to climb. And we were just like trudging up this mountain carrying like 4,000 pounds of dynamite, and like no one wanted us to succeed. And it was just like it was hard. And Oprah's, like, for you too, Oprah is kind of everything.
What do you mean, kind of? I was
Oprah's
like,
everything.
You've
Oprah's
reached
everything.
but that's it. I mean, at a certain point, it's like, where else do we want to go? Like when she called that phone on your set, I was like, oh, okay, that's it. Like you're there.
What? Okay, so what is it for you? I'm serious.
What would it be?
Oh my God.
Well, I mean, Andy came and surprised you in your live show. And
Andy
I know
surprised me in the live show was really big.
Yeah.
He's been a really and just special person in my life. That was big. It really was. It really was.
So besides Andy, who would be your...
Oh my God. I mean, Oprah obviously is a huge, huge one. You know, a Meryl Streep. I mean, I would love to work with her, but I know that one's so boring. I will say, actually, Amy Sedaris I'm such a huge fan of hers to like my core, and I reached out for her to write a blurb in the book, knowing like it's never going to happen, and she did it. And I was like, that was big for me. I loved her so much, especially like coming up in Strangers with Candy. That was like really.
She is really
big.
Cool. When she came to watch What Happens Live, my older son was like a huge Strangers with Candy fan, and so I let him come, even though it was like a school night and really late, to meet her. And he was like 13 or whatever, and she kept like Tom Colicchio from Top Chef was on, and she kept like ruthlessly making fun of Tom Colicchio, which my son thought was hilarious.
I do love that.
And her
You're like,
and
what's with this guy?
her and her brother are really just the top of the top for me.
So great.
I love that Amy Sedaris gave a quote on your book. Your book is beautifully written.
Thank you.
Is incredibly entertaining, has a lot of wisdom, a lot of insight, a lot of pivots, and a lot of things that I think many, many, many people will relate to. And it made me feel lots of things, including the thing that I said earlier, which is that like I'm gonna rewatch Happy Endings and I'm gonna make my kid watch it with me. It's on Hulu.
Oh, what a wonderful. This was so much fun. And I really sincerely thank you guys for taking the time to read the book. Reading is hard. Who has time? And I really appreciate it, and having me and saying such nice things. I'm truly filled with gratitude. Thank you guys. So nice.
Oh my God, I love you so much. And I still am mad that Sackett Sisters didn't get picked up. And I'm not kidding.
Justice for the Sackett sisters.
Listen, how often
we need a reunion, and it never came out. Yes,
do you ever
think about it? Of course I do. I'm like, God damn it. I remember where I was
we
standing.
would be on season 4. No, 3. We'd be season 3. Whatever AP bio is.
We'd be what's it called when it syndicated by now?
We'd be on Peacock.
Oh yeah, we'd be on Peacock. Yeah.
Which is what I am already. So it's all just happened.
Love Peacock. And your show looks so funny. I was just saying to someone,
so
I'm
funny.
like, you know, trailers are just never really funny. Even if a movie is funny, sometimes you're like, oh, that trailer. I was like, oh, wow. If the trailer is this funny, it's genuinely great.
They killed it, but also like it's really good. I'm like you. I'm like I never watched it, and I'm like, wow, nailed it. Like I'm like, oh wow, that is fucking great. How'd I luck into that shit?
I cannot wait.
Awesome.
Did you film 10?
No, only 8.
Perfect.
Because of COVID and like just whatever.
that's
If we go
perfect.
back, we'll do more. We'll do 13 next season. But
Of course you're going back.
the COVID thing was like,
Wah, wah. I know. I know.
all right, go take care of your children.
Goodbye, you guys.
All right, guys.
Feel bad you feel down, Busy. You're so wonderful.
I love Caissie Wilson. She's the best. Thank you, Mare. I'm just like, I don't know. It's just a weird vibe. It's a weird energy. Things have been weird. Things have been weird in the world.
You know what might cheer you up one little bit if we talk about it for a couple minutes?
Every state in the United States has unanimously voted to outlaw gender reveal parties. Is that something that happened?
No, but
Damn it.
That would cheer you up. But
I would love it.
What about this like weird orgasm cult?
Wait, what? I don't even know anything about this. What is it, Mare? Do you know about this?
Well, here's why I don't know about it. I saw a headline and I was so excited to read all about it. And then it was like, the Telegraph, sign in. And I was like, fucking Telegraph. Do you know how many, when I first saw the first headline, I was like, this could be a movie or something. This seems interesting. And then I immediately hit the paywall and I jumped ship.
Here's the secret. When it's like the Telegraph always telegraphs its own stories by just tweeting it out line by line. So you never really have to sign in. You can just read the tweets, the series of tweets.
So
but it's like, I guess, like, again, like this organization, this like kind of well-being organization that was touted by Gwyneth, and I guess Khloe Kardashian also was super into it. It was some type of long orgasm like wellness, and tech people were super into it. And
don't trust anything tech people are into.
Right.
Don't come for me, tech people.
Is it a group orgasm thing, or
it's like, I think there were like, from what I understand, what stuck in my mind from the tweets that I read was that there were sometimes there were latex gloves, and there were men stroking women, and women sometimes stroking
our what? Stroking our clits?
They're the experts?
Yeah.
Like
I guess. And women sometimes touching women, but never women touching men. And then, yes, like giving orgasms, all orgasms to women, I guess. And that was supposedly like helping their wellness. But now they're being sort of looked into for like sex trafficking and high pressure.
It always goes there.
It always, and like high pressure, like sales tactics and thousands of dollars. And I'm like
orgasm quotas that you have.
Yeah. And I'm just like, rich people, wealthy people, jerking off is free. It's the freest thing in the world. It's the cheapest form of entertainment.
Here's what I think.
What?
I think that there is such stigma around fucking jerking off that people got to put a whole bunch of bullshit around it and make it into a cult so that people can feel not bad about it. And the truth is, guys, you can just do it. Like Caissie said, it's free. Just do it.
My question is, like, did the cult start as a orgasm-centric cult, or did it evolve and become that?
That is a really good,
or like wellness thing. And then it's like when you graduate to tier 7, everyone has to have an orgasm together.
That's a really good question.
Is the point that you have the orgasm at the same time as
it's
other
an
people? I'm so confused.
An orgasmic meditation group called One Taste, by the way. They were making
what?
One Taste, making millions of dollars.
Wait. Isn't One Taste, isn't that like something having to do with Pepsi?
I honestly thought it was like that low calorie froyo.
Oh yeah, with 1 calorie. With 1 calorie. I feel like One Taste is was something like in the 90s or maybe aughts, maybe the early aughts. One Taste. Okay, wait, I have to look this up now. Orgasm.
3-hour orgasms are what they were selling. It started
Dr. Pepper. One taste and you get it.
Yes, one taste and you get it. Oh my God.
Dr. Pepper should sue the shit out of these people.
No kidding. Was this based?
Unless that was an orgasm cult too. The soda was
Dr. Pepper, I think, has more qualifications than the people in this cult.
Yes.
A woman lies on a nest of pillows and butterflies her legs. And then someone sets a 15-minute timer, and then someone wearing latex gloves.
Ew.
I mean, yeah.
Guys, first of all, I'm out. I'm allergic to latex.
Yeah, you can't.
That's just a rash waiting to happen for me.
You can't even be in the club.
I have an itchy vagina for weeks.
It's just, why does this keep happening?
Wait, a practice that involves a half-naked woman having her clit stroked for 15 minutes by a man, either her own partner or another paying customer.
I feel like I heard about this years ago.
They tried to get you.
Wait, I think I did too. Ugh, this is terrible. The stroker. You guys, they call it the stroker. How did this woman make all this money off of this? This is the worst thing I've ever read. Is this good podcasting where I'm just reading about a thing and then like,
and
I swear to God, not telling you what I'm reading. No. That's actually, this is very, very close to what it's like to actually have dinner with me. So in case you guys at home are like, I just know we would get along, we would really be friends. Just so you know, it involves a lot of me looking at my phone, not saying anything, and then commenting to my phone to myself and not telling you what I'm commenting about.
Just add some nachos and you got it.
Caissie, is that accurate? Do you feel like that's accurate?
Yeah. So, I mean, sometimes. So, yeah, sometimes. Most of the time. Many times.
You know what's a good
cult?
Another good cult. Have you seen Holy Hell?
No.
What's that?
You should watch that. It was this cult started by a former ballerina male guy, and I forget how it went down, but basically there's so many amazing details in it. Like he wore a Speedo everywhere, and he would think about getting plastic surgery, and then he would ask like one of his like disciples to get it first to see if he liked it.
Oh wow.
And then there's this one part in the doc that is like the most thinks is the most heartbreaking part, which is there's this guy who every day he was in charge of making the fruit platters for this master man. I forget. I saw it a bunch of years ago. I forget the guy's name and stuff, but and so he would spend hours every morning making this like incredible fruit plate of like the creation of Adam or whatever, like all in fruit and just these works of art. And then one day he found out that there was another guy that would take those and pour them into a blender and turn it into a smoothie and then give it to the leader.
Oh my God.
The leader guy never saw one of these works of art.
Oh my God.
It's really fascinating. I mean,
that's heartbreaking. Oh,
it's all these people joining this thing and feeling wonderful for a while, and then all of a sudden, all the weird sex stuff enters.
Here's the thing, guys. I guess this is the point, right? Like we all are searching. We're all searching for something, and I think that our fascination with cults, all of us collectively, if you're not in one, you're fascinated with them.
Yeah.
And I think it's because we all want to know what the fucking deal is. And like, how can we be happier? And is it meditation? Is it having someone stroke my clit for 15 minutes straight?
What's the secret?
While I'm laying on a nest of pillows? I don't think so. Certainly not now. But like.
But if you had $60,000 to try it.
I don't know if I would, but I would like, but I did. Oh my God. You know what I did do? I did that like Ayurvedic cleanse lady that one time, remember, for my sinuses. It did work. I have done some kind of out there woo-woo shit.
Right. Sure. When we had Dr. Seema on, you talked about getting your feet slapped and your
what does feet slapping do?
I don't know. Meredith, seriously? I mean, it's like, who knows? I had oil poured on my head for like a week straight, and then I did the steaming of my vagina, the yoni steam.
I did a 10-day silent meditation once.
You did?
Yeah.
What did it do for you?
It was so interesting. It was my first hiatus on Kimmy Schmidt, and it was like the first time I'd ever had a hiatus in like months to play with. And I had a few friends that had gone to this 10-day silent meditation. It's free. You just make a donation. And I was like, you know what? I'll try that. I'll try that. Oh my God. Seems interesting. And so my best friend and I did it, even though we couldn't talk to each other. And the first 3 days, it's like all breathing focused meditation. And I really liked that. Like, and I'm not a great meditator, but like I appreciated that a lot. And then after that, it turns to this thing where it's like you do a body scan where you just go from your head to your feet and like feel all the sensations. And I just started feeling like, it's like listening to an old house. All of a sudden I just heard all these weird things in my body and I was like, I'm dying. I'm dying. I'm dying. And you couldn't talk to anyone. So I just like spent like 4 days in this thing being like, oh my God, I'm dying. And then I got out and I was so relieved to be out.
And you didn't speak the whole 10 days?
You could talk to like these like teachers in training. The whole thing was very culty because it was like, there's this guy named Gwanky, who recorded this like, this was a while ago. At night, you would go into this like pavilion and sit there and meditate, and he would chant. And he had died a few years ago. So it was this old man kind of like chanting like, like that kind of noises. It was so culty. Like I ended up just taking notes the whole time and like writing about it. Wow. But my friend actually got a ton of benefit out of it and loved it. And now she actually works with Dan Harris. Like really likes meditating.
Oh, wow.
Who's Dan Harris?
Like he has a great podcast called 10% Happier.
That's what Sarah Bareilles was doing.
Yeah, it's great. I highly recommend it.
Did you do that? The 10% Happier or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, I have the app on my phone. Every now and then I listen to it.
I just mean, like, does it work?
I don't know. 10%? You know, one day the other day, I was feeling like anxious, and I went and I sat and I did this like 10-minute. There's another guy named Sam Harris, who's a different guy, not Dan Harris, who has an app called like Waking Up. And I did that for 10 minutes and it really did like change my mood completely.
Really? Maybe I should do that.
I really liked it. But I feel like it's a horse I don't know how to ride, like meditating.
You can also listen to the other Sam Harris sing Somewhere Over the Rainbow from Star Search, and that will also change your mood to pretty good.
Oh, yes. Theme. Yes.
That's
hilarious.
That's a good one.
I don't know who that is. I don't know what anything
you're just like
is.
2 years too young to know about it.
Am I?
Yeah, probably. But you should look it up. It'll cheer you up.
I don't know if it will.
It was like, it was a big Star Search moment.
Ugh, remember Star Search? What happened to that? Let's revive it.
That's a good show.
Wait, everybody has, it's all been revived. It's essentially, it's just American Idol or The Voice or like America's Got Talent. It's America's Got Talent.
It was more organized. I feel that it was more organized.
It was more organized, and I liked that. I liked that we, like, how about when they were doing acting for a while on Star Search and they had to do scenes? Yeah. And they would like open the curtains would open and it would be like a living room and it would be a man and a woman that would be doing a scene together. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It was always so bad because you can't succeed in that way. I mean, that just doesn't, it's like you look like you're in a soap opera. It's like weird.
You can try, but.
You can try, but it's not great.
Yeah. And they had spokesmodeling.
Oh, I remember spokesmodeling.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember that too. Yeah.
I thought maybe.
And I always remember the stand-up being like wildly soft.
Yes. It
like
had
they'd have
to be.
really funny people on. You know, a lot of really funny people have gone through that Star Search machine. And then they did really hallmarky kind of card.
Well, she'll correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the Star Search producers wrote Rosie O'Donnell's stand-up basically when she I think they basically like told her what she was going to perform when she was on Star Search.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I feel like that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm always like, do you guys hate finding out like the secrets of shows like that House Hunters, they've already picked the house and it's already bought? Yes. You know, like that one?
I found it surprising that people thought that Glenn Close moment was improvised.
On the Oscars?
An actress.
On the Oscars, yeah.
She's one of the most incredible actresses. Like, of course, she did a good job acting, like...
surprised.
But I mean, there's no way that was just fully improvised.
I didn't see it. Maybe this is part of it. I feel very outside of the conversation. I did have a lovely dinner, though. Instead of watching the Oscars.
Like, you didn't feel like you could watch the Oscars because you only found out about them on Saturday.
But no, I mean, yes, but also like that I legit have not seen any of the movies. So I know nothing of what they're talking about.
My favorite movie of last year was Jingle Jangle, and I was like, that was nominated.
Jingle Jangle.
Yeah,
it was like a Christmas movie on Netflix, produced by John Legend for children. That was not nominated for anything, so I was like, I'm out.
Yeah, I guess
I listened to your. Well, this isn't Oscars, it's Emmys, but I listened to an episode of your podcast, Busy, Annie McBride episode, and you were talking about how he's always snubbed for Emmys, and I'm like, yes. How has Righteous Gemstones never been nominated for anything? That show's amazing. But
I mean, well, I don't know. They just weren't. People forget about them. See, that's why, I mean, awards are like super amazing and fun when you are nominated and maybe get them. But then when you don't, then it feels like, what is this? Why? What's happening?
That's a thing.
Yeah, if you win something, you're like, wow, they really got it right.
Yeah, totally. 100%.
So good. Yeah.
No, it's true.
I understand that.
That's one reason why it's hard for me to even enjoy awards shows, because I've been in that position to be like nominated and come so close and then not win it, is that I just think of like how many people are going home feeling disappointed and how many people like really had high hopes and didn't even get to go and be there, and just how many people are feeling left out. I know it's so weird because then I also have to remind myself, like, if you're even working in the film industry, it's already like a dream come true. Like, you know, like everybody's.
It's also a strange thing to invite everyone knowing that some, like most of those people go home empty-handed. It's like, it's kind of odd to make the whole thing a surprise.
Right. Yeah.
For showmanship. I mean, it's all for showmanship.
That's why the People's Choice Awards, they really have it nailed. They tell you if you're going to win or not before you go.
Right.
Teen Choice Awards too. And probably the Kids' Choice Awards, I bet.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and I'm going to go out on a limb, but I bet the MTV Movie Awards.
Yeah. Also, I don't know this for sure, so don't at me, but I would bet the outcome of some of those awards is determined by who can attend and receive it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
How do people have an excuse to not come to an award show right now when you can Zoom? Like when they're like, I mean, I don't know that anyone, for example, Anthony Hopkins was not available.
He was asleep, I heard.
How come?
He was like in another country.
He's a different country.
But you could.
He's old though.
And he is.
He was just like, I've done it. I'm asleep. I'm in another country.
You know what I do want to watch?
I do
want to watch that Ted Lasso movie, TV show. It's not a movie. It's a TV show.
It's very charming. I watched
you know what?
People.
That might cheer you the fuck up.
It is kind of positive. It's very positive.
Yeah, I want to watch that. And I want to watch the new one that's on Peacock streaming that just came out that has Ed Helms in it.
Rutherford Falls, yeah.
Maybe I'm going to watch that tonight and maybe it'll boost my mood. Or maybe I'll look in my new spell book that I got and there's a full moon.
You got a spell book? Like you can...
Yeah. I got a spell book.
That's why you're a witch?
I've just always been a witch, Maren. Come on.
I want to have Sierra Ornelas from Rutherford Falls on the podcast at some point because she is so great.
Well, fantastic. We're doing it. Oh my God, Caissie.
What?
That one place that wanted to buy Busy Tonight, and we had the meeting where you ate the banana in the middle of the meeting, and I'll never let Caissie live it down because it was like the fucking funniest.
In an attempt to get people to buy the show.
No, it was like Meredith. Like it was supposed to be a lunch meeting, so we went like hungry because it was supposed to be a lunch meeting. But then, like sometimes happens, no lunch materialized, and then which is fine.
But there was a giant fruit bowl on the center of the table,
a fruit bowl, and then like bags of like Doritos and things like that.
It was so bizarre.
And then my stomach started growling, and it made like a small growl, and then I was like, but I could tell it was about to make like a really loud growl, and so I had a choice.
Doing damage control.
Yeah, I had a choice to like eat like an apple or to eat like crunchy Doritos or like the most silent fruit there is, a banana.
I think you chose correctly, but I could also.
Busy was like in the middle of the meeting. Busy was like, "Are you eating a banana?"
I totally blew up her spot because I just was like, I mean, we are in a business meeting and she is fully eating a banana. It was kind of amazing. That's my favorite thing that's happened.
So funny. The funniest thing I feel like that I've ever heard happening in a meeting that my friend did this horribly failed bit where he was trying to get funding for like an off-Broadway show of his, hilarious guy, Jonas Oppenheim. And you know, Michigan J. Frog, that's like, hello, my lady, hello, my darling, hello, my... And that, like, the whole bit is like, it'll never do it when you want the frog to do it.
Yes.
So they brought a frog and had its little top hat and a cane. And he and his friend were trying to get these like money people to give them money for a Broadway show. And they're like, okay, you're not going to believe this. Come on, go. And then like, he was just doing it. He was just doing it. And these like finance people, producers were just like, get out of here.
Take your frog and get the fuck out of here. It is really funny.
That is so funny. I would have given him all my money.
Me too. I would, but this is why we're not financiers.
Yeah,
you gotta know you gotta read the room. You gotta know your audience.
Oh my God.
Guys. Wrong audience.
Busy. What were you going to say about the banana meeting people?
Apparently the banana meeting, whatever service launched.
Oh, it did?
Yeah. Cause Mark said that he saw somebody post that their friend was on a show on that thing. So it did happen.
All right.
Although, I mean, if a tree falls in a forest and no one, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're launching on another service. So let's just
We're launching on
that.
A great service.
We got a banana from that company. So, you know.
We got a banana, not much else.
It's all positive. And
I should have gotten a banana. I should have taken a fucking banana
to go
while I had the chance.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
And who's the one that we should be making fun of now? You know what I mean? The one who didn't take the banana is what I'm saying. Just me.
Oh, I was going to say probably still me.
Take the banana sounds like some kind of life advice.
That's going to be the title of my memoir.
Like, just remember, guys, to take the banana. Always take the banana.
Guys, always take the banana. We're going to put it on a t-shirt. Speaking of merch.
Speaking of merch.
Also, Take the Banana is the new name of our podcast? No. You guys unanimously did not want us to change the podcast name.
People were really worried. Yeah.
A terrible idea.
Were you thinking of actually changing it?
I don't know. I'm just feeling like, guys, maybe it's up to you guys. Maybe it's up to the audience. I really feel like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, do people care about this at all? Like, I don't know what podcasts are really. It's hard for me.
But don't you know how many people are listening? So you kind of know if it's resonating with people or not.
Here's the thing. I think maybe Busy has been so busy with the television show, if I may speak for you, Busy.
Sure.
Maybe Busy has been so busy with Girls Five Eva and everybody else has been handling everything else that has to do with the podcast. So maybe you're not hearing as much as you had been about how important the podcast is to people, but I think it is important to people, and I think people are listening and they do care.
You know what? Maybe what you should do is open it up to some callers sometimes.
Oh,
well, that's now I'm into it. But I don't know how to. We can barely work these recorders. You know what I mean, Mare? Like, I don't know how we would open it up to callers. We can't. I
think Ray can do it.
I doubt it. I don't. I think you're overestimating Ray.
Can Ray call and just do different voices and pretend he's various audience members?
Honestly, yes. That's, I think, a great idea.
Why don't you do what like Chelsea Devantez does and like have people leave you voicemail?
Voicemails, yeah.
Because I'd like to talk to people. It's the same reason why I don't like Marco Polo. Everybody keeps trying to get me on that fucking app. Oh, you don't use Marco Polo? I'm like, ugh, no. Because I don't want to have a one-sided conversation. That has like essentially just been my life for the last 4 years. I would like to like actually talk to people. Mm-hmm. Sorry, that was too intense.
That was pretty intense.
No, I agree. It's a weird, it was like everybody's doing Clubhouse. Everyone's doing, like, there was like a million of them.
Clubhouse is still happening.
Clubhouse is the most recent, but it was like, first it was Zoom, then it was House Party, then it was Marco Polo.
Party. Right, Marco Polo.
It's Clubhouse.
There's always like a flood. People sign up for things like in a rush because they're worried of like getting shut out of something. And then they take a minute, figure out what something actually is. Clubhouse is just a conference call system. Marco Polo's just voicemail.
Marco Polo is just video voicemail, guys.
Yes.
And like, it is so weird to me that people get so hyped on it because I'm like, I literally can't sit here and watch your 3-minute rambling message to me with like some filter on. Like, this isn't interesting at all.
I am curious though, when is FaceTime going to let you leave a message?
Oh.
Like a video message.
Oh, that's a good one.
That should happen. Because I feel like people ignore FaceTimes.
You know, I FaceTime Caissie blindly. I like blind FaceTime her, and she's always 100% of the time, no matter what time I blind FaceTime her, getting out of the shower.
It's almost like she texts my family and
Or
is
you
like,
just shower a lot.
is she in the shower?
insane.
Great. I'm going to FaceTime her in 7 minutes.
It's really insane. It's like every single time I'll just be like, oh, I need to, like, I must have some sort of weird sixth.
Yeah, you're
I
connected.
think you're like tuned into my rhythm and I'm like 7 minutes behind where you need me to be.
Wait, you know what's so funny? Like when Birdie, I was like so in tune with Birdie after giving birth to Birdie that like, not a joke, I would know that Birdie had pooped because I would have to poop. Like, not even a joke. Like when Birdie was like a baby.
Yeah.
Like I would be like, oh, I have to poop. And then I would know that I would have to change Birdie's diaper immediately because
there you go.
the kid and I were like on the same exact like synergetic bodily function path.
Yeah. I just think, there's just certain things.
But yeah, never mind.
I was just in a bathroom yesterday with Oscar and he still poops in a diaper. Like I have to put a diaper on him to poop and then he won't go in the potty yet. But anyway, so he was kind of doing that. And then we were like in the bathroom, we were leaving and somebody was coming in and he's like, I think she's going to poop. And did you pee? What if picking who's going to do what?
What if that's like his secret? That's the only way he's
power.
Psychic. That's his only power is like knowing
what you're going to do in a bathroom.
what people need to do.
You can read on their face when there's like a little bit of shame.
He's like Christopher Walken, like he touches a person and he's like seized and he's like, you're going to poop.
Trivial Psychic. That was one of my favorite sketches.
Was that from SNL?
That was an SNL sketch, Trivial Psychic. He'd be like,
really funny.
He would like grab someone's wrist and then like get electrocuted and then be like, it would sound like a disaster, but it was really just like someone was going to leave their coffee on top of their car. It was like a really dumb predictions.
Honestly, leaving your coffee on top of your car sucks.
That's a disaster.
What do you guys think about Elon Musk hosting SNL?
Ugh,
I don't think it's great.
I don't think it's great.
I don't think it's a great decision.
Does everyone in the cast get Teslas or what? What's wrong with me? Who did I just become in that moment?
I don't know.
That's amazing. Is everyone in the cast getting Teslas or what? If not, I don't want to hear about it. Why is he doing it? I don't like it. I don't like it.
I don't think it's a great choice for a few reasons. He's not a performer.
Also this year, like, haven't there been enough men hosting the show?
And also we've sort of already had like billionaire pop culture guy on the show before and seen what can happen when that happens.
Who are you talking about? Trump?
Yeah. It makes me nervous.
Not a billionaire.
Well, you know. But,
yeah.
You know, it does make me nervous when we sort of like make entertainment heroes of these guys. What do you think?
I can't tell. I mean, it's like I kind of do want to see what he'll do. So I think there's like a curiosity there. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. Some of his opinions I don't agree with.
Yeah. SNL's been so good this season. So I also think it's like kind of a bummer because I just want it to keep being like a great, great, great show.
Yeah.
Here's my question. Like, why?
Well,
why?
We're all talking about it, right?
No, but why? Why Elon Musk? Why? What has he got to promote? What's he doing? Just
Space?
the cars? Space?
Elon Musk.
Grimes? Their baby? You guys, I can't. I don't have the patience for this. All right. I mean, okay, wait. So Elon Musk, SNL, what were we talking about right before that? The full moon?
There's no way of knowing.
There's no way to know. Truly. We could rewind and we still wouldn't know. Mayor, I have to talk to you about other stuff offline, which I will.
Okay. Great.
But I'm happy.
This is the part of the podcast where Busy starts doing work.
It is true. I do. That does happen. It does. It does. It is. I just feel, honestly, I should have had a coffee. I feel so tired.
Yeah.
Exhausted. I feel exhausted.
Yeah.
I think maybe it's, do you think it's the moon? I'm asking.
Maybe. It's just, it's exhausting
I
times.
don't know moon science.
Yeah. She's no moon-tician.
She's no moon scientist.
You're not a moon
I
scientist?
don't know if it makes babies get born and the tides change.
Yeah. So, I mean, surely it has the power to make you tired if it can make the whole ocean move.
Well, I feel very tired right now. And I also am just like, I don't know. I want to feel better.
Everyone wants to feel better.
I know. That's why they joined the sex cults. We've already discussed this. We've already gone over it.
Well, you know what I'll tell you? They make non-latex gloves, so maybe there'll be an orgasm cult with different kind of gloves.
Lambskin gloves.
That literally sounds disgusting. So gross.
I was thinking about it. Like, is lambskin made of like lambs? Like the lamb has to die.
Yeah,
do you mean like
condoms?
Lambskin condoms?
Yeah, the condoms.
Yes, I'm talking about
I want to say it's made of their intestines, so I think yes.
Oh my God, that is fucking disgusting.
I'm sorry to be
like
gross.
that like a lamb's intestines are just like up in your vag. I mean, I've used them before. I've had to because I'm allergic to latex. That's disgusting. What? What do vegans do who are allergic to latex?
They make like an impossible lambskin. For people who don't want to kill a lamb, but they have a latex allergy.
I'm going to say maybe it's like one of those cat gut things, how lambskin condoms, maybe
I don't want any of this.
Intestinal membranes of a lamb. Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought it was like how cat gut isn't really made of cat guts anymore, but yeah, I guess they are still made of lamb intestines. Sorry.
That's how it keeps you from getting pregnant. You just think about how the condom's made, and then you don't want to have sex anymore.
Yeah, and then you like vomit the semen out of your vagina.
You guys, I'm truly grossed out. I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe just lie down on my hot crystal mat that Gwyneth Paltrow sold me.
Honestly, I would try this Sam Harris app. I think it's pretty good.
Okay, maybe I will do that.
It.
Also, like, maybe I'm hungry.
You could just be hungry.
Sometimes I feel like if I don't eat enough protein, I get this way. Cranky.
Just go through all the steps you'd go through with a baby.
A baby. You're right. That's exactly right.
Hannibal Buress said one time in stand-up, he was like, maybe, you think you're all depressed, but maybe you just need a haircut. Like that's the answer. Could just be that you need a haircut.
Can I tell you something? Sometimes I do feel bad about my physical person, and then I get my hair blonder, and then it goes away. Or like my roots done, basically, is what I'm saying. Like I get my roots done, and then I'm like, oh, I actually look like me. My hair had gotten like too dark around my face. So maybe Hannibal's onto something, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't want a haircut, though.
Well, take a little drink, eat a little something, lay down.
I'm going to do that app. What's his name? Steve Alexander. Sam Harris.
The other Dan.
Waking Up.
Dan Harris, 10% Happier. That's also very good. Sarah Bareilles loves it.
She's the nicest human alive.
She's
Meredith, are we going to get a
lovely.
season 2? What do you think?
I mean, can you ask the moon?
Yes. Should we do a spell tonight?
Let's do
That's what I'll do.
Do a spell for a season 2.
Okay.
All right.
Please do.
All right.
I love it.
Okay.
Well,
drink
guys,
something, eat something, lay down, get up and do a spell.
Join a sex cult.
Maybe join a sex cult and have a 15-minute orgasm.
And I don't think I need to do that. I think I'm good on that.
All right.
But I do think all the other things I will go through, including I'm going to watch that show on Peacock called Rutherford Falls.
Rutherford Falls.
Right.
Sierra
It seems
Ornelas,
delightful.
you're the best.
Apparently, AZ, who is one of the writers on Girls Five Eva, it has a little part in it.
Oh, really?
Great.
8. She has a line. She's very excited. She's very excited about the show because she's Lakota, I believe.
Yes.
She's just like so excited.
Oh, great.
Oh, awesome.
Awesome. She's so excited for. She's just like constantly talking about how there's bead work on TV. There's bead work on TV.
Oh, that's cute.
I love
Really
that.
cool.
I love
Yeah,
that.
me too. See, guys.
Things are looking up.
All right.
All right.
Okay, guys.
Meredith Scardino, it's so great to see you.
It was great to see you guys.
Thank
This
you for
was
joining
lovely.
us. Guys, we love you. I'm sorry I'm in a mood. I just looked at my Channy app, my horoscope thing, and it did say today, full mood.
There you
That's
go.
what it says, full mood. So I guess I'm really going for it. Unfortunately for all of us. I love you guys.
We love you.
I love you.
I'm so happy that we were able to talk today.
Me too.
And we'll
I'm gonna
talk to you
charge my
next week.
crystals.
And I love that interview with Caissie.
So good. The book's amazing. Get the book.
TV magic.
It is TV magic. Get the book, The Wreckage of My Presence, out next week. Next Tuesday is the pub date.
You can pre-order it now. Yeah.
And it'll arrive the day it comes out. It'll arrive on your doorstep. It's very exciting.
And watch
Yay,
Girls
okay.
watch Girls 5 Eva on Peacock.
Yes.
May 6th.
May 6th.
May 6th. Don't worry. I'll remind you 4,000 more times.
All right.
All right, bye, guys. I love you. Bye.
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 I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing my best.
Oh, no.